Yes, hello guys. We'll kick things off in just a second. Thank you very much to everyone that has joined. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you are watching on other platforms, please head to YouTube as well, so that you don't miss anything because the stream is going to go down on other platforms. We'll kick things off in just a minute. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe, like the video, and go to YouTube. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. 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 Smitlai, how you doing? I don't hear you. Yeah,
But
go
you
on.
muted my mic, yeah. So, yeah, thank you. I'm doing well. Happy to be here again on that Tuesday, on that fabulous Tuesday. You know, let's get going.
Another Tuesday, another fantastic episode. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. But before we start, please, if you are watching on X, if you're watching on Facebook, please switch over to YouTube. YouTube.com/@ Eagles Tracker NG. Switch over to YouTube, and we would appreciate that. But yeah, okay, let's go. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. This is the Niger FC podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ayoti, and I have with me once again my fantastic co host.
Smith Lai, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Um, another Tuesday, another episode. Lots to discuss today. We even had to cut out some topics because we said we'll save it for next week. Lots of things that have happened over the past week, including today as well. And we'll get into as much of it as possible. But before we start, a little bit of housekeeping. So, by by the special grace of God, we've been able to get our old Instagram handle, so not our old Instagram page, that would have been nicer, but our old Instagram handle. So our handle on Instagram is now once again at Eagles Tracker NG. So no more underscore in between the Eagles Tracker and the NG. So I'm happy about that. I take the small wins. The big reason I'm happy about that is that at least now our social media pages are consistent. The handles are consistent across all the different platforms. So it's at Eagles Tracker NG on Instagram. So yes, if you are looking for us, that's where you'll find us. Also, you see that I only have one AirPod in today. I don't know if it's because Apple just released the new AirPods. For some reason, my other AirPod just stopped working. I don't understand what happened. No, the thing did not fall down, nothing. It just stopped working. So they want me to go and spend money that I don't have to go and buy a new one. So if anybody is watching this and you want to help me with my AirPods, I'm accepting donations, or you can leave a super chat. You can reach out to me and send money. You can buy merchandise and help us make some money. But yes, I need new AirPods because I don't know. As they release the new one, my old one stopped working. But yeah, that's just a little bit of, I guess, what's going on in my own personal life. Smith, like anything from your own life, anything that's happening.
It's just been myself, so happy with with Chidera Ajuke. I just finished watching Chidera Ajuke and I was really, really pumped up for this as episode
Wow.
because at least it makes me happy. Lukman Ajuke makes me happy. That is my immediate, what I just finished doing now. So and abroad life is just work and everything. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Someone said, "How much is it? Is hundred? If you want, send me $100. I'll accept. Just $100 is okay. I'll find the balance. You can send me $100 if you actually want to help me with the airport. But yeah, Shout out to everyone that's joining, man. And of course, as always, if you want to support the channel and you don't want to leave a super chat, you don't want to spend money, maybe you don't have money to spend, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. That does a lot for us. It does way more than you think. So that is very much appreciated as well. Every like, every share, every subscription helps us to grow and helps us to bring this content to more people. But yes, let us get into it. Let us get into it. We have a lot to cover today. Let me just start with um, the players that performed well over this past weekend. As always, I'll go through my list of all the different players just to highlight and acknowledge them. Then we'll talk about some specific players here and there that we want to um, just expand on a little bit. Okay, so in goal, this past week, the only Nigerian goalkeeper that sort of did well or that did well was Stanley Wabali. To be fair, the other goalkeepers didn't have the best week. Adeleye considered 2 goals, lost his game. Maduka Okoye as well didn't have the best game. Um, who else played? Which other goalkeeper played? Um, Jonathan Rashid, I don't think he played. I think he's injured. So not so much to talk about on that side. Nwabali kept a clean sheet, made 4 saves in Chippa United's 1-0 victory over Richard Bay FC in the Betway Premiership. It's no longer DSTV. It's now the Betway Premiership in South Africa. In defense, shout out to our agent Moye Gumpo. His boy Isaac James, made his first start for FC Lorient, and he had a good game. 5 goals, 97% passing, 1 chance created. So shout out, congratulations to him on his first start for Lorient. Ebube Duru, you guys might know him. He's been part of the national team setup in the past, I believe. Ebube Duru made his debut for Sonderjysk in Denmark. Had a fantastic game, 3 tackles, 8 goals, 1 chance created. Solid debut for him. Franklin Tebo had a good game for Salzburg with 9 goals, three clearances, 1 block. Stephen Eze, 2 tackles, 13 clearances, 5 goals, one for Jamshedpur in India. Faith Obilo kept a clean sheet, had a good game. I forget his stats. I didn't write. I think I wrote it down somewhere else. But yeah, he had about Faith Obilo. I can't find the stats right now. But he had a good game. I think he made about 9 goals, 8 clearances, some crazy numbers for PDRM in Malaysia, but still a good performance. A good performance by him. Shemi Ajayi also had a good game in defense for West Brom, kept a clean sheet, made 5 clearances, helped them to get a 1-0 victory over Tijani's Plymouth, even though Tijani did not play. Um, and then in midfield, we had players like Jennifer Echegini, had a decent game for PSG, created 1 chance, still yet to get off the mark for PSG, like, the way she was firing in Juve, but she had a good game for PSG in her Premier League debut. We also had Ifeanyi Matthew, 1 tackle, 3 clearances, 3 interceptions, 4 goals, one for FC Zurich in Switzerland. Frank Onyeka, of course, had another good game for Augsburg, 2 tackles, 6 goals, one chance created in their game against Mainz. That was a very interesting game. David Moses had a good game for MFK Carvina, 7 goals, 2 tackles, 2 blocks. Ogene Karo Peter Etebo, long lost Super Eagles midfielder, also had a good game for Genkler Beligi in Turkey. 9 goals, 4 tackles, 1 chance created. Solid midfield performance. Wilfred Onyiye Ndidi continues to show himself, continues to do well. Good game for Leicester City. 5 tackles, 15 goals, 1. Ishak Abdurazak on loan at odds in Norway. Also had a good game. Chinedu Nkama scored a goal, had 9 goals, 1 for AC Bellinzona. And then we also had Adams Friday with 5 chances created and 5 tackles, 12 goals, 1 for FC Botosani. Good performance from him there. And then in the attack is where we always have the most Nigerian players, man. Whenever we're making our team of the week, it's always so difficult to choose among the attackers because everybody's doing so well. We had Alexi Wobi, fantastic performance, got the assist for Smith Rowe in Fulham's game against Newcastle. Viv Solomon Otabo scored 2 goals, created 2 chances for Kangzhou in China. Moses Simon got another assist. If you've not seen the highlight, you can check our Twitter page. It was just dealing with that his fullback, just causing unnecessary problem for him. 5 dribbles completed in that game, 1 assist for Nantes. Peter Olayinka, 5 chances created for Red Star Belgrade. Unfortunately, he did not even get a single assist because the strikers were wasting everything. But five chances created was a good game for him for Red Star Belgrade. Yusuf Otumbanjo scored a goal, got an assist for FC Punic in Armenia. Matthias Oyewusi, one goal, one assist for Valenciennes. Good guy, good game. The only thing that is that he plays in the third division in France, so it's not the most exciting, but still, he had a good game. Moses Uso, another bright talent, three dribbles, eight goals, one for Lask. AGK Okpara scored a goal for Novi Pata. Friday Etim scored a goal for CD Mafra in Portugal. Paul Mukairu, four dribbles, four tackles, 13 goals, one chance created for Boluspor in Turkey. Taufik Ismail, three chances created for Gonik Zabzi in Poland. Rashid Ajibade, two goals, one assist for Atletico de Madrid Femenino in Spain in the La Liga F. We had Bede Amarachi Osuji, scored his first two goals, also got an assist for Manisa FK in Turkey. Josh Maja, of course, got another goal for West Brom in the championship. Cyril Dessers got two goals for Rangers in their Scottish League Cup quarter-final victory against Dundee. Arco Adams scored two goals, created one chance for Montpellier in their hard-earned win. Tolu Arokudare, six goals of the season, six goals for him now in the season. Scored another one, created three chances for KRC Genk. And then, of course, I'll wrap up with Victor Osimhen, who got another assist, a fantastic chested assist for Galatasaray in their victory this past. Yes, that is it. Before I throw it to you, like, let me just acknowledge Hybrid. He said I have to be paying for the deposit installments. No, but thank you very much. $20 there. Thank you, Hybrid. Much, much, much appreciated. I appreciate your support. But yes, thank you for the super chat. But Smudlai, who impressed you? Who impressed you the most this past weekend?
For me, you like you said earlier, it's very difficult to pick between out of our front lines because they actually were doing well. But I have to just single out Siri Desas and Tularo Kodare. The level of consistency they are having this season is superb. If I'm not mistaken, I think Tularo Kodare is the top scorer currently in the
Jupiler Pro League.
Pro League, in the Belgian league.
Mm,
So, it's a guy that I think it was goal shy, when he was in the Mion, but now
mm.
he's scoring. I think the team is paying to his rent and he's scoring on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Maybe the salary that he wants. I think he deserves it. Yeah, so
He
I
needs
think
to he needs to he needs to keep scoring, Sha. He needs to
he
keep
needs to
scoring
keep
more
scoring. Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm very wary of our players that do well in Belgium because I mean, with all due respect, look at Paul Onwachu. That was the best goal scorer that Belgium had seen in such a long time, breaking records, scoring week in, week out.
Give
Was then
Turban.
come out and from Belgium, goal shy. Even Gift Orban scoring goals week in, week out.
Yeah.
He left Belgium is maybe two goals every 3-4 weeks, so
Uh-huh.
I'm a bit wary, but happy to see him doing well still. Hopefully he can keep up the form. He can have a fantastic season. But he's doing well so far. I have to give him his credits for
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just quickly go. So our team of the week on Eagles Tracker for this past weekend. I've already spoken about all those players that made the team, but we had Stanley Umabali in goal. We had in defense Ebube Duru, Shemi Ajayi, and Faith Obilo. In the midfield, we had Etebo and Ndidi. And then from the wide areas, Viv Solomon on the left, Rashad Ajibade on the right, and then the three strikers were Bede Osuji, Ako Adams, and Cyril Dessers. And our star of the week for this week was Rashidat Ajibade with her two goals and assists for Atletico de Madrid. Fantastic second goal as well. Nice chested the ball down, blasted it into the net. If you haven't seen the goal, it's on her Instagram page. Fine, 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 fine finish. So shout out to all the Nigerian players that did well over this past weekend. So let's get into some of these players. The first player that I want us to talk about, is a young striker who last season managed to get 10 goals. Started the season very hot, then just kind of tailored down. But because of how hot he started the season, he still finished with 10 goals in the league. And then now he scored another brace, kicking his season off. It's not his first goal, second and third goals of the season. But this one felt like, okay, now he's got started. I'm talking about Ako Jerome Adams. Ako Adams, fine young player. A lot of people have started talking about him, after these two goals. So, Smith, like, the question that I have, is it time for a breakout season? Is this the year, the kind of year that Osimhen had at Lille, that year that he just scored like 18 goals for Lille and everybody recognized him? The kind of year that Boniface had for Bayer Leverkusen last season, where he just scored a lot of goals and everybody said, who is this Boniface guy? He's a good striker. Is it time for Ako Adams to have his breakout season? What do you think?
There's no doubt about Alco Adams' ability. Since it was in, I've been monitoring him since when he was in youth team in Norway. Is he Sogno? Also, I don't know what his name of that club is. In Norway.
Songda.
Sogna, yeah, fantastic player. Straight. He was scoring goals like no man's business. Then, during his days with the youth team, and when he got his debut too with their main team, he didn't disappoint. So it's a guy that talent is there. But when you ask me that is he a breakout season, I hope so. But what can limit Ako Adams is the ambition of the team. A team that does not care to win, a
Hmm.
team that is just when they want to relegate. When the team had his breakout season with Lille was trying to compete now. Osimhen was playing the cap in the not cap Champions League, sorry, in the UEFA Champions League.
Hmm.
So, but this team they just escape relegation, win, stay. No, look, if you look at their signings too, you realize that they are not aiming high.
Hmm.
So I just hope that the type of season that I don't know, maybe Wire, that guy from that got signed from Olympic Marseille, I think was he the striker for Olympic Marseille, before I'll remember his name now. He
Hmm.
got a very good season, in one of the mid, maybe he was in Lens or so. He got a very good season before he moved to Olympic Marseille. So if he could also have a very good season too, I think clubs higher up in the French league and look at him. Teams like even I don't know, I don't want to go to yes Monaco, but clubs. So clubs can actually can look at him. Fantastic player. I just hope that the team can match his ambition.
You hope that the team can match his ambition, and I hope so as well. But like you said, I believe that it's definitely time for him to have a breakout season. Second season in the league. It's about time, that he's able to stamp himself and show that he's one of the best strikers. I remember that when he started the season last year, he was competing with Kylian Mbappe at the top of the goal scorers chart, and then obviously eventually he fell lower and lower and lower. But I'm hoping that this season he can continue to do well. I think currently now he's third highest behind the PSG boys. You know, so at least if he can continue like that, score 15 goals, maybe if possible, score 20 goals. Just let everybody just know that okay, there's one boy now. Okay, no, I was looking. He's tied for fourth. Okay, yes, Greenwood, then the two PSG boys, Bakola and Dembele. You know, and if he can just show himself like that, I see he's ready to take this league by storm. I think that this guy is a very good player. He's a player with high potential. Unfortunately or fortunately for us, as another strikers, the competition for places is so high. But I'm really, supporting him, and I hope that he can have a good year because I know that this guy is a good player. He's one of those guys that I have no doubt in my mind that he is a good player. So Ako Adams, wishing you all the best, and hopefully you have a fine year for Montpellier. Do you want to add something, or should I move on?
I just want to, I also pray that he also meet defenders like the other defenders too, so that so that it can, it can actually work because I won't lie to you, the other defenders were really sleeping in that game.
Mm,
Yes, I hope he's a fantastic player. I wish him the very best of luck.
Okay, okay. Let's move on now very quickly. So another player that I want us to talk about. This is a player that Nigerians love so much. Nigerians love so much. We've spoken about him for God knows how many weeks on this podcast when he was in his transfer battle here and there, and then now he has played 2 games for Galatasaray.
Mhm.
Of course, if you haven't picked it up already, I'm talking about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, 2 games, 2 assists, but, and there's a but no goal yet. no goal yet.
Hmm.
I know people will come and say, "Oh, Ayoti has come again." He got 2 assists. Hey, you guys remember when the Galatasaray deal happened? What did I say? I said I need 20 goals before January. Obviously, I'm not expecting him to score in every game, but truth be told, I expected him to have scored by now. It's only 2 games, but in those 2 games, he has had enough chances to score. He missed a very good chance in the last game. He missed a very good chance in the first game as well. So, Smith, let me throw this question to you. How would you rate his time at Galatasaray so far? Osimhen, 2 games, no goal, 2 assists. But did they sign him to be Roberto Firmino, to be dropping assists, or did they sign him to be a goal scorer? What do you think?
The good thing is that it's helping the team to win, and you can see the clear difference in quality between Galatasaray and the other teams in
Mm,
that Turkish Superliga. So he is doing one part of his job, but the main part of his job is not doing it yet. And rightly so, you said it. There was a one-on-one he had, that he sprinted. They were even waiting for him to score. I know that his teammates wanted him to actually score. That guy waited for him to be true before he actually laid that pass, and I think he flopped it. I think in all honesty, I think Victor Osimhen is a very big player. Victor Osimhen, but I still don't see that full match fitness there. Victor Osimhen himself is a beast, when he's fully fit. But in all honesty, too, I think he has played like 2 full games now for Galatasaray,
yeah.
90 minutes.
They are not
He,
even that's how much they want him to score. They are not
yeah,
even subbing him off.
yeah, they can't even remove him. And he's not even fit for that 90 minutes, in all honesty. Because this guy did not even play a game until he got substituted against them. Was it against Benin Republic that he actually was scored? So I think they need to integrate him slightly. But there's one guy on the bench already. I think he's fit now. The Tigers and the Lions. Marco Icardi.
Mario
So,
Icardi. Mm.
so they want Victor. I think the fans love Victor. They want Victor to actually was score goals. For me, I think he did, average yet. But I won't lie to you. If he's not scoring, Victor just need one goal and soon others will follow.
Mm. No,
Take one
and I
penalty.
no. See, and I agree with you that he just needs that one goal to hit the back of the net, and then the floodgates will open. But I saw a comment from a Galatasaray fan on social media the other day, and the person said that if Victor continues like this, so he won't be surprised if he becomes a backup for Icardi. Because at the end of the day, it's one thing for you to be getting his assist, but then again, when you have chances and you miss them, people take that into consideration. And then also when your team is scoring 8 goals in two games, and you're supposed to be the biggest striker or maybe second biggest striker in the world, people are expecting to see you get on the score sheet. You cannot be a striker. Your team is scoring so many goals, and you say, "Oh, but I got an assist in the game. Oh, my assist was so beautiful." It's just not enough for people. So while I'm on the same boat, I believe that Osimhen is a super super talent. I cannot like I'll be the most stupid person in the world to come and start doubting Osimhen's ability or doubting the quality that he has. But we just need him to get that first goal. And the reality of it is that no matter how much he dances with the fans, no matter how much he is smiling, we know footballers, especially we know strikers, it will be playing on your head if you are not scoring goals. That's just the reality. I've heard so many stories about the great strikers, all them Van Nistelrooy. They said, man, you can win 4-0. Van Nistelrooy does not score. He will go into the locker room, he will be so vexed. He will think that they lost the match. Strikers are selfish. They want to score. They want to be on the score sheets. They want to be in the papers. And I'm sure that it's only 2 games, so he'll still be smiling about it. But if it goes into game 3, game 4, he never still score, things will start to play on his mind. But with
Mm.
that being said, I think he's going to score against Park in the Europa League. I see the goal coming for him in the Europa League. But nevertheless, Victor Osimhen, it's about time you got us a goal. We appreciate the assist, but we want to see the net bulge. We want to see the net bulge. But yes, that's that on Victor James Osimhen. Looking forward to his next game, like I said, against Park this midweek. Okay, let us move forward. Let us move forward. Still some other players that we want to talk about. So now, Smilai, I'm going to ask you about a player that I know you like. A player that I know you like. Yeah, he's not had the best of times this season. He's been struggling for minutes. In fact, in the league, he's only been able to play 33 minutes so far this season. I'm talking about Taiwo Awoni. Awoni, we know what he has done for Nottingham Forest in the past. We know how he essentially saved them from going down in his first season there. But then, of course, he had this major injury that kept him out for some time. Chris Wood came into the side. And to be fair to Chris Wood has been doing well. He has been scoring goals. He has been impressive for Nottingham Forest. But when you look at Awoni, should we be worried about his Super Eagles spot, given the fact that a lot of strikers are doing well now? People are calling for other people. Should we be worried because he's on the bench for Nottingham Forest?
A good player cannot just become bad overnight. That
Mm,
is what people don't know. And this is the same player that scored 7 goals in 7 games for Nottingham Forest, and it was scored in 7 consecutive games. The first in their history. You know, matched with Adebayo and Mo Salah among one of the African greatest players. 7 goals in 7 games. You need to go and watch his game in Nottingham Forest for you to know that he's loved, well loved. That part of the country. For me, he had a major injury. I'm not like to you. And if you are very close to him, you know how bad that injury was. A lot of people didn't even know that he had a setback again when he came back. So in nights and different issues too came up that he has to actually he has to integrate into the team very well. Like you said, coming back from injury is not really easy. Depends on how bad that injury was. It was a major surgery. And I can tell you that that injury that he actually had, that was why even Cooper lost his job. Because I think that he was relying so much on that one and when that when he got injured, I think he knew that it was over before he was finally sacked and the guy brought in. In all fairness, too, to Wood, he has been doing well, but I won't lie to you. On a good day, Tawawuni is a beast. He just needs to get that confidence back. He just needs to actually be fully fit and do all these things. He just need a run of games. It's like you start your engine and you call the engine to come and be playing 3 minutes. It's already charged. Just play him like good 30 minutes in those 2 games, then you see what he can actually would bring you. So for me, I think the manager too, is not being fair, to him, in my opinion. But I just think that he's a guy that is not new to this situation. He is not a new. He's a guy that will always come back and take his spot. So if you remember, if you remember his career very well, we know that this is just like something that will not actually even move many things. He's working hard behind the scene and he's ready to take his place.
mm, mm. But you didn't answer the question that I asked you
Mm-hmm.
because I agree with you on everything you said,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm asking about Super Eagles.
Yeah.
So with people like Maja, Desas, Akor, everybody, what I'm saying is, should he be worried about his spot in the Super Eagles squad?
You
Because
know,
I agree with you that he's going to come back for Nottingham Forest, but Super Eagles, do you think he might lose his spot because he's not playing? What do you think?
you know, losing his spot, not being invited, is are two different things. So, for example, now he can actually excuse himself. Don't forget that he played as this manager during the AFCON. That's the trust is there. But the
Mm,
issue is about losing his spot. I don't agree with that. And I will say one day, we have different type of strikers. The two strikers we have that can actually occupy defenders. So I think it was Tawa Woni and Victor Osimhen. We have strikers that can actually roam about. So it depends on how you want to see it. In my own opinion, it depends on the coach, on what the coach actually wants to do. For example, now the coach used Victor Boniface in a different way in those 2 games against Rwanda and Benin Republic. So he brought in what's it called, the Osimhen and everything. So it depends on how the coach want to play. But for me, if you want a guy that can actually occupy your defenders very well, it's between Victor Osimhen and Tawa Wode. I don't think we have. I know we do respect to Josh Maja, and so on. but for Siri Desas, yeah. But I think if you want a physical presence, I can occupy defenders very well. You know that it's between those two guys.
mm. Okay. And what I would say about this is I think, it is rather unfortunate that he's not getting minutes for Nottingham Forest. Like we said, Chris Wood is doing well, but I also feel like the coach can definitely give him more minutes than giving him 3 minutes here, playing him 90 minutes is not even coming on at all, you know. And unfortunately for them, they're out of the Carabao Cup, so he's not even going to get those cup minutes that we might have said, okay, he'll play in the cup. FA Cup doesn't start until January. So it's really just the Premier League for them now. You know, and we know what he has done, we know what he can do. So we need to see Taiwo Awoniyi playing more games at club level. Um, and on the Super Eagles front, you know, him losing his spot, I think is not something that would happen. And the reason I say this is because I just don't think that the other strikers are on his level. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, maybe in October, Eguavon might decide maybe okay, Desas is scoring a lot of goals. Maybe I want to call Desas and I will drop Taiwo. It is possible, you know. It is something that the coach might decide to do. But I think that even if he doesn't make the next squad, knowing the quality that he has, knowing the kind of player that he is, he would eventually make his way back into the team once he gets his games going, once he gets his goals going again. You know, I also think that, you know, sometimes when you're judging players, it's a bit tricky because obviously he's playing in the Premier League, he's not getting that many minutes. If Awoni was playing in Scotland, for example, now, if he don't already score 15 goals this season, you know. So when you're comparing two different levels that are far off each other and you're saying, this guy is scoring week in, week out, it's like, yeah, he is, but Mm, if somebody else was there, you know, there's the same way when people talk about like Aro Kudare, for example. I scored 6 goals. Like, okay, fine, but if you put this other striker in Belgium, how many goals do you think they would have scored? You can obviously you cannot just directly extrapolate, but I just think that even if he doesn't make maybe the next squad, I trust Taiwo Awoniyi enough. I've seen enough quality from him. I've watched him play enough times at Union Berlin, at Nottingham Forest, to know that this kind of quality player is going to make his way back into the team. That's assuming he even gets dropped for one of the international call-ups, you know. But I'm really hoping that Nuno Espirito Santo gives him more minutes. I'm not wishing bad for anybody, so I'm not going to say Chris Wood should get injured, but we know that Chris Wood tends, even though Taiwo too gets his injuries, but Chris Wood also gets his own share of injuries. And it's easier to get injured when you are playing versus when you're not playing. So I feel like Taiwo's minutes would eventually come. Obviously, I just hope that the minutes come sooner rather than later so that this boy can show us what he can do. And you know, when Taiwo starts firing, the goals they go there, you know, they say money na water for goals na water. You
Yeah.
know. So that's just it on Taiwo, and I hope that he gets more minutes in the coming games. Okay, another player in a similar situation. This one is a player that you like. In fact, he's a player that I really like. You know, I really like this guy. He made his debut. Fantastic game. Fantastic game. Played the second game, another good game. Not as fantastic as the debut, but good game. Then played his third game, not so good in the third game. And then from there, in the last two matches, they've put him on the bench with seat belts. They did not even say, okay, come and play 1 minute, come and play 2 minutes. I'm talking about the young player known as Fisayo Dele Bashir. Now we know the quality that this boy has, you know, a recent addition to the Super Eagles squad. We know how good he is, we know the impact that he can have. But he's now a bench boy. You know, I think it's fair to say that he's now become a bench boy because if they don't play you for 2 games in a row, I find it hard to say, oh, you're still a starting 11 player, you know? Even if maybe, of course, teams can always rest a player, but, you know, for example, Arsenal are not going to put Saka on the bench for 2 games in a row and Saka does not play a single minute. You know, Man City is not going to put Haaland on the bench for 2 straight games with no minutes if he's fit. The same way Chelsea cannot sit, even Jackson no go sit down for 2 straight matches if he's fully fit, you know? So should we be worried about his own Super Eagles spot as well? What do you think about this, Milai? Dele
No,
Bashir.
no. I think when he came back from the international window, that is when all these ones actually was started. He's a guy that when I saw him start that first game, I was so surprised. I didn't know that he's going to integrate straight away in, but you know, you don't expect he's coming from Turkey. You don't expect him to just be busting the midfield like that in Lazio, and that's why they're not even doing well. They're not even doing well. So the coach might still have to reconsider his decision and bring him back. But for national team, I think it's a different animal. In the national team.
Mm.
Fantastic player. It's a player we have been looking at for. Forget about him not playing. In the club. I think we still need him in the national team. So I don't think because I don't think his national team spot should be should actually what should be up for grabs. I just think that he just needs when he comes back, more training, more game, he'll be back to his full fitness again, to sharpness again. I don't think his national team spots too should be up for grabs because even in the last game that I think it was Ndian and Alex Iwobi that actually what played in the first game before. Yes,
Yeah.
so before they actually but for me, I think he's a very good player, and
Mm.
I think he should still be invited. He's very good for Nigeria.
Mm. And I will say I agree with you. He's like one of those players that even though he's not playing for his club, I feel like his spot. I don't want to say anybody has a guaranteed spot in the Super Eagles, but he's probably our only real attacking midfielder.
Hmm.
So even though he's not playing, it's hard for me to say, oh, his spot should be given to somebody else because who is that person? You want to give his spot to another defensive midfielder, you know, or do you want to give his spot to a winger? Then who will play from the middle and try to create opportunities? Who will drive the ball through the middle for us? So that's the reason why I say I would love for him to play. I would love for him to be playing more starting games for Lazio, but I also don't think that his Super Eagles position is under threat as of yet. Obviously, if this problem persists and he's just absolutely not playing, then it's something that we might have to discuss and we might reconsider moving forward. But I think that at the moment, it's not really something that I'm bothered about. I think he's going to play more games for Lazio as time goes on. And again, we don't really have his archetype aplenty in the Super Eagles that we can just say, oh, don't call him up, call somebody else. With like an Awoni, for example, people can say, oh, don't call Awoni because there's Desas, there's Maja, there's Akpom, there's all these sorts of people that people think can do a job. But for the role that Fisadeli Bashiru is playing in the Super Eagles right now, we don't really have other players like that can do that job. I remember when they brought Ibrahim Olawoyin, it was kind of obvious that the quality was not as high as we would have loved it to be. So I think Dele Bashiru is going to retain his spot in the Super Eagles. I just really do want to see him playing more minutes, playing more games for Lazio because a lot of people have invested in his stocks. A lot of people have put their money into into Dele Bashiru stocks, put their what's the word, their bragging rights, everything. Believe so much in him, and I don't think that having one bad game is enough for the coach to just absolutely do away with him. And like you said, it's not like they are winning all the matches, so you cannot even say, oh, they are doing well without him, so it'll be hard for him to come back. They just lost their last game against Fiorentina. They narrowly beat Venezia in the other game, so I believe still that his time will, he will get his minutes in his club. And yeah, I think he's not somebody that has to be worried about his Super Eagles position yet. I'll just say yet because you never know what can happen in football. All of a sudden now, maybe one other midfielder from somewhere will just rise up, just come they score goals and everything. And that's the way football is. Football moves on very quickly, but yeah, I think Dele Bashiru should be all right for now. Okay, let's talk about another player. Still talking about players that maybe have to be or shouldn't be in the Super Eagles. I'm going to talk about another player. I had mentioned him when we're talking about Awoni. He's a striker. He's on form. He's scoring goals. People are clamoring for him. Some people are not. I'm talking about Cyril Dessers. So Cyril Dessers again over the weekend scored two more goals for Rangers. So Smith, like, I know we've spoken about this on previous episodes before. Do you think Cyril Dessers should get the Super Eagles recall in October?
Is that is actually what big, Desas played under Jose Pacero, and in all honesty, I don't think it's actually what it's disappointed because I think he did its best in those two friendly games they played in America.
Mm,
To say with his current form now, I don't know who they can actually drop for him
mm,
because it's very difficult to actually make a case for him because Scottish League, in all honesty, is not one of the best leagues in Europe. So, and sometimes when I see Scottish League, it's like I'm watching some part of League One's like Championship relegation.
No,
So you
yeah, and just let's cut you off, but I remember I spoke with Ayo Bile
mhm,
when he was still playing in Scotland then,
mhm.
and he was telling me he's like, yeah, like the Scottish league, the best teams in Scotland, the Rangers, the Celtics, they will be like mid-table championship teams.
Yes,
That's what he told me while he was playing in Scotland. So the quality in Scotland is not that high. But
it's
go
not
on.
high. Yes. So that is why it's very hard to judge. For example, now if I'm clamoring for serious, I should be talking about Akodare too.
Mm,
I should be talking about him too. So for me, I just think that if you want Super Eagles call up, it might be difficult to say. I think that need to move.
mm. Desas needs to move. Okay. For me, I'll just say I wouldn't be upset if they called him up, but I'm not going to come and be clamoring for him to be called up because of the reasons that we already said. He's scoring goals in Scotland, but it's not the toughest league in the world. It's not a very high level competition. Again, scoring 10 goals in Scotland is almost like scoring one goal in England. So, the way it feels sometimes. So, will he be able to translate that at the high level for Nigeria? Who knows? Of course, he has scored for Nigeria in the past. He has also had games that people were not impressed with him. As far as him moving, I don't think Desas is going to get any move to any bigger team from here. I think it's probably going to be Rangers is probably going to be the last good club that he plays for. If he's leaving Rangers, then he's maybe going back to Belgium or going back to Netherlands or something, not a very top level. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to clamor for him to get called up. I'm also not going to be too upset if they call him up. We'll see what he can do. But I think the two strikers that are sure are Osimhen and Boniface. And then everybody else is fighting for that third spot. So whoever they call, to be fair, will probably accept it. And you mentioned somebody when we were talking that, oh, if you're clamoring for Desas, you should be clamoring for him as well. Tolu Arokodare. Tolu Arokodare, of course, has scored 6 goals in 8 games so far this season. And I won't lie, it kind of surprised me. But a lot of people started saying, hey, we should call this boy up. I was surprised when I saw it. People were saying, hey, we should call this boy up. So that's why I included it here. Smith, like, do you think Tolu Arokodare is a Super Eagles contender yet?
I don't think so. I think it needs to be consistent. I think if we can keep this form to the end of the season, I think it should be called up. But for now, I think he's just trying to find his feet in Belgium. I think he should continue doing well. If he can keep this before the playoffs, they normally have these playoffs towards the end of the season. If he can do this thing for the regular season, score like one goal in every 2 games or every game or things like that, if he can actually to do that the way Paul Johnson did, I think he should also be invited to the national team. I think I muted.
Yeah, sorry, I was saying, and to answer that question, do I think that Torreira Kodari is a Super Eagles contender yet? The answer to that is no. I don't think he stands a chance quite yet. At this point, I will still call Awoni ahead of him. I would still call, honestly, even Desas ahead of him. Dare I say, I would even still call Leon Acho ahead of him. He's scoring goals in Belgium. I'm glad to see that, but I need to see more. I watch his game sometimes, even if I don't watch the game live. I go back and I watch his actions after the game. The goals that he's scoring are not class goals, are not quality goals. With all due respect to him, like the goal that he scored in their last game, the ball drops in the box. Somebody is trying to clear it, and the ball hits your knee and it goes in. That's not a goal that is making me go, wow, call this boy up. And fortunately or unfortunately for Nigerians and for Nigerian fans, a lot of people don't watch matches. A lot of people don't watch games. So once they just see the stats, oh, he scored, oh, call him up, things like that. He's scoring a lot of tappings, he's scoring a lot of headers, and he's scoring a lot of clumsy goals. Again, a goal is a goal is a goal. As long as it goes into the back of the net, it's a goal. So I'm not trying to knock him. I'm not trying to play down what he's doing. But I would just say we need to see a lot more. We need, like you said, we need to see that consistency. Can he play 30 games and score 20 goals?
Mhm.
Then we'll say, okay, no, we really actually have to give this guy a chance. But right now, just based off of the 8 games of the season that he has scored 6 goals, I'm not going to get carried away. I know he's a young player, he's developing. I'm not even going to talk about what he did not do in France. I'm not going to talk about what he did not do in Germany. I'm not going to talk about that, but other than Latvia, this is the first time that we are really seeing him trying to even be anywhere near a consistent level. His last season wasn't like this, so he's growing into his own. But we need to see more of it. Let's see how he continues to grow. And if he does well, if he can hit these marks that we're talking about, he'll probably even get a move in the summer. And then playing in a bigger league, he will have a better chance of making a Super Eagles team. But my response to anybody that is clamoring for Arokodare to get caught up now is calm down. Calm down. Give the boy time. Let him keep developing. Let him keep scoring goals. And then at the end of the season, or towards the end of the season, we can reassess the situation. But right now, the Super Eagles have a plethora of strikers that are doing well. In fact, Anako Adams will still be ahead of him at this point. So let's not jump the gun. Let's not jump the gun and get too carried away. Congratulations, Aruku Dare. 6 goals in 8 games is a fine, fine, fine output. But I think we need to see a lot more before we start saying bring this guy to the Super Eagles. Okay, man, lots of players. I think there's one more player that I would talk about with respect to potentially being in the Super Eagles. And I saw somebody in the comments that already mentioned him. This is a guy that has not been capped for the Super Eagles at all. In fact, a lot of people did not even know that he was Nigerian until recently. And of course, he scored a goal against Barcelona that made him go into the news, and then a lot of people started talking about him. I'm talking about George Eleni Kenna. Young boy, 18 years old. A lot of people say, oh, he's French, but he has been proudly repping Nigeria since he moved to AS Monaco. Even AS Monaco, that you would think because they are a French team, maybe they would even be pushing for him to play for France. They've been championing him as a Nigerian. They've been hailing him as a Nigerian. They are trying to use him to even get clout from the Nigerians on social media, things like that. And a lot of people have been saying, call him up, cap him so that he cannot switch to France. Call him up. This one, that one. So Smith, like, let me ask you about George Lenny Kenna. Do you think after his goal and assist in 1 week, goal against Barcelona, assist against, I think it was Le Havre, should he be capped by the Super Eagles ASAP? What do you think?
Thank you for that question. If you can argue that Arogodare should be capped for Nigeria, I think he did better than Arogodare when he was in Antwerp in Belgium. So, and that was his first season in Belgium. He got a move after. This boy moved to AS Monaco ahead of Inter Milan because he wanted to progress. One thing you cannot deny about George is that he's a talent. And he's a boy that is growing. He's a boy that is improving his game. He might be 18, but he's a boy with a big heart. He's not shy to show what he can do. He can play any position and run the front line. And he's someone that is very decisive when it matters most. So I like that type of player. People say that called up, why not? I'm not saying you should come and start. But some people get called up without them. They say they go and share the team up. Those people sharing the team up in the bench on the bench, they say that they are sharing the team up. So there's also the man in Spain. Why can't you just give him that spot? Just to come and see how Super Eagles actually would look like. Give him sense of belonging. Let him know that we Nigerians too were also watching him. I'm not saying you come and bench Osimhen, Boniface, Awoni. I'm not saying that. Just let him come and learn from those guys. We've seen these practicals work before. Rio Ferdinand was invited in 1996 to England team. We know that he will not play. When you have players like Tony Adams and everything, he will not play. But he went there to learn. 6 years after, he became the leader in that backline for England. The same thing with Ronaldo de Lima in 1994. So for me, I think that it's not coming to Super Eagles to take the spot. It's coming to learn from the current African Player of the Year. It's coming to learn from players like Taiwo Awoni. It's coming to learn from players like Amaka's husband, Victor Boniface. It's coming to learn from them. So, in my opinion, I think that it should be called up to come and learn from them. And if you are not fast, France might look for it. They might dangle some things in front of him and they call it to the 121s. Then that is over again.
Okay, Smithai, let me ask you a question. When you reference players like Rio Ferdinand that were called up earlier, maybe players like Theo Walcott. I remember when Walcott
Yeah.
was called up to the England squad some years for that World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
as a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
These are players that at the time they looked at them, the coaches looked at them, the countries looked at them as these guys have the potential to be the superstars for us in the
Yes.
future.
Mm-hmm.
Walcott had a good career, but I mean, he wasn't ever the superstar. But like
Mm-hmm.
with Rio Ferdinand, for example, we know how he became a key player in the
Yes.
English defense.
Yes.
So with everything that you've seen from George Ilenikena, with everything that you've seen in his game, do you look at him and say, man, after Victor or after the two Victors, this guy could be the next big thing? Do you see that in him?
This guy, sooner than later, eh? This guy plays for Nigeria. This guy will go be one of the mainstay national team. You will see. This guy is full of potential. See, this guy, you when you see a player that can deliver, you will know. You will know. Don't forget, this guy is coming in ahead of Falani Balogun. Is it Falani Balogun? The guy that's
Yeah,
the former
the
Arsenal guy.
USA striker.
USA, hey, he's a USA striker now. He's not a Nigerian player, so he's a USA striker. So see, just give him time. They will soon sell Mbolo. Is it Mbolo we'll call him? The guy from
Brilliant bowler, yeah.
yeah, Mbolo, yeah. This guy is full of potential. And I've never seen a talent like this at 18 for Nigeria in a while.
Mm.
Victor Osimhen wasn't as good as it at 18. Victor Boniface wasn't as good like this at 18.
Mm.
So I've never seen a 18-year-old Nigerian like this in a while. So if you are seeing one like this, don't mess with him.
I like the points. I like the points that you make about the level that he's already playing at
Mm-hmm.
the age that he is.
Yes.
I would agree with you. Osimhen wasn't this good at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Boniface wasn't this good at 18. Awoni wasn't this good at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Akol wasn't this good at 18. None of these players were as good as
Mm-hmm.
George Lineker is currently is, when they were his age.
Mm-hmm.
What I would definitely say is that I think we should capture him. That one, I agree with everybody that is saying it. See, call this boy up, give him 5 minutes at the end, just for the fans to clap for him to just run around and break a sweat. Let us know that he has played for Nigeria. And you might not call him in the next squad. You might not call him, depending on how he's performing, depending on how other players are performing. But I think when you have a talent like this, a player with very, very high potential that is already playing in a top five league at 18, that is already scoring goals in the UEFA Champions League against a Barcelona side that is doing really well this season at 18, you cannot allow such a talent to slip through your fingers. This is not the case of Ebereze that we are trying to convince. It's not the case of Olise that we're trying to convince. This is a boy that is already proudly Nigerian,
Mm-hmm.
born in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
wants to play for Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be realistic. He has options.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not wait until France now start tempting him. Then he's
Mm-hmm.
now really, really considering and saying, I can play with Mbappe. I can play with Kamavinga. I can play with Chouameni. All these things. Go to the World Cup, play Euros. Before he starts getting all those temptations, cap him now. Just cap him. Let him know that he has played for Nigeria, and whatever happens in the future happens. So that's what I will say. I know that it's hard for me to say, oh, he's better than Awoni, or oh, he's better than all these other strikers that we have. But talent wise, what he's doing at his current age, other strikers were not doing this when they were 18 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
please, the NFF, Ibrahim Gusso, Austin Guavon, anybody else that is involved in decision making, that is involved in calling players up, whether na Labadia or na Saint-Fiet or na anybody wey one coach, call this boy up, play him 5 minutes. Let's get it off our mind, because I cannot tell you how sad I will be if we lose this kind of talent that we already have in our hands. If we allow him to slip out of our hands and play for somebody else, it would be extremely disappointing. So that one, I will say, please call George Lineker up, even if
And
it's just for these games.
yeah, and I'm even seeing something. I'm even hearing that they're talking about Sam Omoridion. In my own opinion, I think George Ilenikena is the big thing. With due respect to Sam Omoridion, for me, I think George.
Omar Rodion should go and play on a 23.
I think Ilenikena is a big, and the guy is not shy to be Nigerian. Like, even when he scored for Monaco, they will put Igu there. Our Igu
Yeah.
scored. So, go to anywhere registered is Nigerian. I don't know. maybe he's parenting. I don't know, but he's guy that we should be proud to actually what have in our mix.
Yeah, yeah, we should be proud to have a talent like that, and hopefully he can continue to do well for us. But yeah, Omar Young, after I just finished winning Olympic medal with Spain, he should go and play on our 23 first before we'll revisit his case in the future. We don't have his time right now. But yes, shout out to George Ilenikena, of course, wishing him all the best. We'll keep on tracking him. We'll keep on seeing how he does for his side, and hopefully, he can have a fantastic season. Maybe he score like 15 goals, 20 goals in all competitions. I think that could be a good return for him at 18. That would be a fantastic return. A lot of players are 18 years old are still playing in the reserve team, still trying to find their way up, and for him to already be playing in the first team, it is definitely something to be proud of. Okay, let us move on. So I think we've covered all the players that we wanted to talk about on that level. Performances from this weekend, those that are close to the Super Eagles, those that maybe might lose their spots. Now let's just talk about some transfers that have happened. Of course, the transfer window is closed, so some of these or one of these transfers happened on deadline day, but was only officially, announced a couple days ago. And then, of course, on the women's side, transfers are still happening on the women's side. But I'll start with the male player. A Nigeria under 20 player just made a move to Sunderland in the English. Are they League One or League Two?
Championship.
Championship. Okay, so now
Yeah.
I'm even in the championship. So I'm even the one that is underrating them. So in the EFL championship, I'm talking about Ahmed Abdullahi. So this is a young striker, 20 years old, I believe he is right now. He played for Nigeria at the under 20 World Cup, was it?
No, under 20 AFCON.
Under 20 AFCON. Under 20 AFCON. Thank you for that correction. And he was playing for KA Ghent reserve team playing in the third division in Belgium. Of course, not the toughest league, not the highest level, but in 28 games for them last season, he scored 21 goals. So obviously, he has good outputs, at that level. He has now moved to Sunderland on a 4-year deal.
Mhm.
On a 4-year deal. Smilai, what do you think about this move? Do you think it's a good step for him?
Yeah, for me, in all honesty, Ahmed Abdullah is a fantastic player, and the first time I saw him play was when he played for Nigeria at the Wafubi under 20 qualifier in the Nigeria Republic. He scored the second goal against Ghana. It was so instrumental for the Latamboso side. And he has played for Nigeria too at the under 17 before, a player that has played for HB Academy in Abuja. Fantastic player, and I'm happy that he could got this move at the line. It wasn't going to happen for him in Gent, and I'm just happy that he got this move. In fact, this is one of my best transfer this window. And he's a guy, according to his playing pattern, a lot of people do not know, he's similar to Boniface. In fact, it's like a Boniface, guy. He will do back heel, he will do everything, he will not make everything in front. He's this type of striker that likes to enjoy himself. He's a talent. He's a talent. He can take the ball from the midfield and continue to actually what? Attack. So it's a talent. So the AFCON didn't go well for him. He missed some chances, and the coach was not really happy with him. So the coach didn't take him to the World Cup. So he went for all those Emmanuel Ume, instead. But for me, it's a new beginning for him. It's a new country for him. Sunderland are doing well in the championship. The way things are going, they might even be in the playoff or promoting to the Premier League very soon. So it's good that he's back. He's going to be part of the project. And I also read the interview after he was signed that they'll be patient with him. The manager said that he will be patient with him. He wants to see exactly what he wants to do. And I'm pretty sure that this guy, he will talk to us again about how well he's doing. Fantastic player. We just need to take care of his attitude. That is very important.
Mm, mm. And I will say what I really liked was that Sunderland, they said that he's somebody that they monitored very closely, and they see a lot of potential in him. They believe a lot in his talent and what he can become. What he can turn into. Obviously, moving to a new country, playing reserve football to coming out to play first team football is quite a step up. It's a jump for him. He's going to need some time to adapt, to get used to the life in England. But I think that if this transfer works out, if he can hit the ground running, can score goals for Sunderland, they are currently second in the championship. Like you said, they might get promoted, they might finish in the playoff spot. He has a real opportunity to show himself. He has a real opportunity to impress, an opportunity to play at the highest level in the English Premier League. So I really hope that things work out well for him. And I'm wishing him all the very best. I don't have too much to talk about him right now. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I was not watching him playing for Ghent reserve team. As much as I watch football, I don't go and watch reserve team matches. So at least now when he starts playing for Sunderland, I'll watch more of his games. I'll see how he does. But yes, congratulations to Ahmed Abdullahi. 4-year deal with Sunderland, and hopefully everything goes very, very smoothly and well for him. Okay, okay, okay. Let's talk about another transfer that happened. This time we're moving to women's football. This is a player for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Of course, she was part of the 2018 AFCON winning squad. She also was at the World Cup in 2019, but then unfortunately, she suffered a devastating injury that kept her out of action for some time. She then moved on. I believe she played for Braga, and last season she played for Galatasaray in the Turkish Women's League, but now she has made a move to France to play in the Premier League in France. I'm talking about Chinaza Uchendu. She has joined FC Nantes women's team. Of course, Nantes is the club that has Moses Simon. But now she's playing on the women's side. So if you ever go to France and you want to see two Nigerian players, you can just visit Nantes and watch both the male and female team. But yes, Chinaza Uchendu to FC Nantes. I think that she's a very talented player. Like I said, unfortunately, things did not go her way on the fitness side of things. So she fell out of favor a little bit. I'm really believing and hoping that this move to Nantes can help to revive her career. If she can score, I'm going to give her like maybe 8 goals, 5 assists, something like that. If she can do that in France, it's a 1-year deal, so it tells me that the club still maybe has doubts about her fitness or has doubts about her ability long term, but they see enough to give her a chance to say, okay, let's take a try. I really hope that it works out for her. I hope that she's able to do well, and settle in France. It will be nice. It's not very easy for a player if this season you play in this country, next season you're moving to another country, the season after that you're moving to a whole different country. Players like to find somewhere that they can put their foot in the ground. They can have somewhere that they call a home. See now, so if you know even free buy a house, free rent apartments because in another 6 months now or 1 year, you are going to have to be finding a new place to go. So I really hope that it works out well for her. I like her; she's a good player, and maybe if she's doing well in Nantes, maybe she can find her way back to the Super Falcons squad under the new coach, whoever that new coach is. But yes, congratulations to Chinaza Ochendu. Wishing her all the best. Mikla, your thoughts on this transfer?
No, it's a good move. No, in any direction you want to see it. He was playing for. I was he. I thought it was he was playing for a Korean club. Maybe it was Galatasaray. You know,
No, no, she. In fact, maybe I'm getting my timelines wrong. She definitely played in Asia before as well.
Yeah, I think she played for a Korean club or so, before actually what moving. So for me, is a step up. French league according to the UEFA coefficient is the best league, in UEFA. So I don't know why they are number one in the UEFA. So I'm happy that she's moving, and if she's moving from Ghana or she's moving from Korea, what's it called? Turkish league is 46th in the UEFA coefficient to tell you how how not competitive, the non-competitive nature of the Turkish Women's Super League. So for me, it's a very good move. 1 year deal is not bad. So for me, it's just no. I don't think they get this for 4 years. The women football. I don't see two,
It,
3.
it it only happens to the top players. The top
Okay.
players get long deals. The Sam Kerrs, the
Yeah.
Lauren James, the Oshoalas,
Yes.
Ajibades.
Yes.
They get Ajibade's contract that she signed was like a 4-year deal. Things.
Mm-mm.
But the not so great players, they don't the ones that are not top players. They
Yeah.
don't really give them long deal, 1 year, 2 years maybe.
Yes, yeah, because I just think that I've seen these common things too, 2 years D, 3 years D, and everything. But it's a good chance for her to at least to play in the French league now. We put her to consideration into what constitute that okay, we can see her playing. So then maybe a call up can she'll be on the way to both. Good move for her that she's actually what here now.
Yeah, and just to clarify on her path, she played for Braga in 1920. Then she moved to Linköping in Sweden. She played there. Then she moved to Korea. She played
Hmm.
in Korea. Then she moved to Galatasaray for last
Hmm.
season, and
Yes,
then now she's moving to FC Nantes.
yeah,
So
he's
just one year, she just they move, which is not easy. So maybe she did 2 years
yeah,
in Braga, but
right.
I really hope that things work out well for her. Like I
Yeah.
said, Uchendu Chinaza, she's a quality player.
Mhm.
I'm sure that now that she's come back from injury, 2 injuries in the past 5 years, she probably doesn't have the same explosiveness she used to have, the same
Yeah.
pace. But hopefully she can still produce, at that top level. And for me, I'll just say if things don't work out for her in France, she should just go and play in Saudi or she should go and play in Russia and just go
You are this Saudi. Okay.
and she
Uh,
should just go and enjoy herself and make some money, man. Because at the end of the day, not be everybody could be superstar. So
yes,
just
and
do
then you
what you
just
have.
need to go and coach in Saudi. Oh.
If anybody has link in Saudi, they should come and drop offer for me. I go back out of this Canada. I will tell you.
Uh-huh.
Canada, I will come back later. Let me go and enjoy myself in Saudi. Because honestly, I'm hoping that I'll visit Saudi one day. It seems
Uh-huh.
like a nice country. Like for
Yeah.
me, I look at it. The only cultural difference is that they are Muslims, a
Hmm.
majority Muslim country. But other
Hmm.
than that, like it looks like a very nice country, nice buildings. I mean, I've gone to Dubai a number of times and I enjoyed myself in Dubai. So why can't I enjoy myself in Saudi? So if anybody get deal for me, bring it. Let me. I'll see how many command the deal has. Then we'll decide from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Chinazao Chendu. Okay,
Yeah.
and you mentioned Turkey. You said Turkey is ranked 46th in
Yeah.
the world
You have a
in
coefficient here.
in UEFA.
Yeah.
And speaking of Turkey, we have another Nigerian player who just made a move to Turkey. This is a young player. I believe she's 22 years old. She played for Nigeria at the World Cup. She played for Nigeria at the Olympics. And last year, she was playing her football in France. So we have a player that is moving from Galatasaray to France. Now we have another player moving from France to Galatasaray. I'm talking about the young girl called Oluwatosin Demain. So again, if you want to watch Nigerian players, you can go to Istanbul. In that Istanbul, there's Osimhen, there's Bright Osai Samuel, there's Tosin Demain, even though Osai Samuel is in Fenerbahce. But yes, Tosin Demain has just made a move to Galatasaray in the Turkish Women's League. She, in fact, already made her debut, which I found very interesting because how can you make your debut before they even announce you? So I was surprised that that was allowed to happen. But she made her debut in their UEFA Women's Champions League qualifying match against Slavia Prague. They played a 2-2 draw. But then she has now been officially announced as a Galatasaray player. Smidlai, how you see this move because it's not a very high rated league, not many strong teams in Turkey on the women's side. How can this affect her, Tosin the man, young player?
It's a bad move, honestly. Except you want to look at it, maybe there's issue of finance there, that she can actually use as compensation, but it's a bad move. I won't lie to you. Turkish league is the 46th rated league in the UEFA coefficient. They are both leagues like Faroe Island, uh, Azerbaijan, Estonia, Armenia. Turkey have never qualified for any major tournament before, both UEFA World Cup, anything. They are in big category of the UEFA Super League, of the UEFA Nations League. It's not a women footballing country, in all honesty, But for me, I think that there must be like a financial compensation there. That's why she's there. Turkey, is not. I don't pray that I'll see the destination for our Nigerian players. It's not. I don't rate the move at all. But if it's type of finance, I was trying to investigate how much average they pay women players in Turkey. I couldn't get that before we start the program. So maybe when I get that, I will come back to you. But for me, I think that maybe the financial incentive it's good, but in my own opinion, it's not a good move.
You know, I mean, like, I unfortunately I have to agree with you. When I saw the move, when I heard the initial report, I was like, Turkey, why? I know it's Galatasaray, is the best team in Turkey, so it should probably win a league title. But why? I was also wondering, why would Stade de Reims not renew her contract? So I just cannot see why. She was a key player for them. She started almost every match. She was doing well. So I was like, is it that she's the one that just wanted to leave? You know, did they maybe offer her a renewal and she said, no, I don't want to renew. I want to go somewhere else. Like you said, maybe for the financial compensation. Because I cannot understand it. You know, she's a young player. She's a player that is still developing, still growing, still coming into her own. We know how good she is. We saw how she played. She and Osinachi Hale formed a solid partnership for the Super Falcons. This is the time where you want her to keep on competing at the highest level, keep on competing against some of the best players in the world. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. If we ask anybody to name any women's player in Turkey, they probably don't know any other women's player in Turkey. You know, it's just not a league that we want our very talented young players to be going to. If she was 30, if she was 29, 31, or maybe if she wasn't one of the top prospects, you will say, okay, fine, you understand it, it's no big deal. You know, like, I mean, Gloria Bona plays for Besiktas, you know, Regina Otu plays for Fenerbahce. So there are a few other Nigerian players in Turkey, but they are not, with all due respect to them, they are not like top prospects like Demain. We know how good the man is, and you want to believe that if she keeps improving, she can become a really solid player. You know, this kind of feels like the way it felt when Ashley Plumter moved to Saudi. That's the way it feels. Where it's like, oh girl, what are you doing? It's like I love you, but why? You know, why are you going to a league like this where we'll barely watch you play, we'll barely know how you're doing, you know? And the only thing that we can do now is we just have to hope and pray that when you come and play for Nigeria, that you're still at the same level that you used to be. Because it's not everybody that can maintain their level when they're no longer playing against top competition week in, week out. And in France, she was definitely playing against top competition. By the time you play PSG today, tomorrow you play Paris FC, the next day you play Lyon, you play Marseille. You know, there was competition. But now in Turkey, I just don't know how she's going to be able to keep on improving. I hope that she can prove us wrong. I hope that she can keep her level and even maybe get better. But I mean, so it's only a 1 year deal, so maybe she just wants to make some cash and then she'll move again, or maybe that's the offer that came to her and she wants to just take the best offer, like Osimhen, just make her just carry waiting day my table and I'll reassess next year. But I wasn't really excited. Somebody says Galatasaray women will offer those in Champions League football and a higher salary. Champions League football, if they qualify, let's hope they do. But Champions League football is if they qualify. And yeah, I mean, we already spoke about the salary. Yeah, the salary, I can't say anything about that. But Champions League is if they qualify. And even that Champions League football, like, let's be realistic, they're just going to go and play group stage and go back home. You know, they'll probably, depending on their group, they'll probably get slapped in like at least 4 of the 6 matches. Like, get slapped. If they
All,
if they
all the games.
if they put them in group with Chelsea or with Man City or with Barcelona or with Wolfsburg, or they will get slapped.
Mhm.
So I don't even know if it's worth it to just go and say, "Oh, I played Champions League," but you didn't really do anything. I don't know. It's not an exciting move. No matter how we want to paint it, it's not an exciting move for me. But of course, we love her. You know, she's a talented player. Wishing her all the best, and hopefully, she can prove us wrong and she can continue to up her level and do well even when she plays for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Okay, I think those are the transfers that I had noted.
Sorry, they,
Um,
they, they they have a Champions League game tomorrow against
yes, against Slavia Prague, their
Slavia
second
Prague.
leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, first leg was 2-2. Their second leg is tomorrow. If
Yeah.
they win, they will qualify. If they don't, they're out. So anything can happen. Slavia Prague is not a very strong team, so they have a good chance.
Man, they
You
have been
know,
winning 11-0 in
in
Turkey.
Turkey.
Yeah.
You know, we're just like, if they meet any like Champions League, Women's Champions League, I think, is it how many groups are there? Is you know, they're going to definitely have some tough teams in their group. So
Mhm.
there's a very good chance that they get slapped. Like, there's a very good chance. You know, Even teams like Benfica that Christy Uchebe plays for, they find it difficult in the Champions League, you know. So when you're now playing for Galatasaray, I don't know, it's very easy for you to lose, man. It's very easy for you to lose big.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, let's see how it goes. You know, wishing out the best. Okay, before we continue, before we continue, I just want to implore everybody, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Um, like the video. We have only 25 likes, but we had over 70 people constantly, people going in and out. So please like the video, guys. Like the video. Your like, as simple as it is, just click that button. It helps the channel grow. It sends good signals to YouTube about the content that we're creating, and it helps us to reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel, of course, you can do so with a super chat, super sticker. You can buy merchandise on eaglestrackershop.com. But we really appreciate your support. Your support helps us to keep growing, helps us to pay staff, helps us to, to grow the business. And of course, it helps us to, run the operations and do everything that we need to do. So you can leave a super chat or go to eaglestrackershop.com to buy your merchandise. But of course, if you don't want to spend money, I would never say anybody has to spend any money. If you don't want to spend money, please just like the video. If you are watching on other platforms as well, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because most of the content is on YouTube and we do not want you to miss. It's not every week that we are streaming on X or streaming on Facebook. So we do not want you to miss out on other content. Thank you very, very much, guys. Okay, let me just go to the comments and see what people have been saying because I haven't been taking too many comments. Um, Abdul says you guys are doing a good job. Thank you very much. It's Prince Samuel says, I don't get data, but I'm always enjoying you. Thank you very much. My space place says, real talk, Osimhen should not be shy for one-on-ones. He was trying to put the ball through the keeper's leg from far away. Bad decision. Ifeanyi says, you will soon give Osimhen the Mikel Obi effect and he will score 3 goals in the next match. I think what I'm doing is still very far away from what Mikel was doing. You know, I'm not saying, oh, they should bring somebody else. He's not good enough. I'm just saying that he needs to score goals, man. He needs to score goals for us. That's what, like, nobody is signing Osimhen to come and be giving assists. I don't care how beautiful. If he likes, he should do flick the ball over his head and pass the ball. It's nice, but that's not why you signed Osimhen. You signed Osimhen to score goals. So if he scores 3 goals in the next match, I'll be happy. I mean, I said to myself that I think he will score in his next match. If he can score a hat trick, even better. Hybrid 10 says Galatasaray forwards are all selfish players. You think Mertens will create for Osimhen? Mertens needs to pad his tally. This is what I disagree. I think we love Osimhen so much that we make so many excuses for him. When he was at Napoli, this is the same thing people used to say. Napoli players were selfish. Now he's at Galatasaray again. All of a sudden, Galatasaray players are selfish. They are selfish, but they are passing to other players that are scoring. Why is the Osimhen that they don't want to pass to? The chances that he got that he missed, is it not somebody that passed the ball to him? So I don't necessarily agree that that's why players are selfish. I just think his goal hasn't come, and I believe that it will come eventually. I believe that it will come eventually. Um, Hybrid 10 says, I like HUK, but he hugs the ball too much. With his skill set, he could become an Iniesta like player. He just dribbles too much. Hybrid 10, I think maybe you should watch HUK recently. What you're speaking on is you're speaking on things based on 2021 HUK. He has really changed his game. He still dribbles because that's what he does naturally, but he passes the ball. He plays with his team a lot more. His decision making is better. So watch his games, his recent games. Don't judge a player based on what you saw from them 3 years ago. Um, Enameka says, don't be surprised. Victor's first goal will come in 2 or 3 goals per match once he starts scoring. I think his goals will come in the next 2 games. So far, he's doing well. Yes, I think his goals will come. I think so far he's doing okay. I think he's doing okay. I'm not going to go as far as saying he's doing well. This is Victor Osimhen we're talking about. This is the best player in Africa we're talking about. This is a player that we try to compare to the best strikers in the world. We cannot, 2 assists is not what we'll not be saying, oh, he's doing well. No, I'm sure even Osimhen doesn't want you to cuddle him like that. He's doing okay, but he needs to do a lot better for the level of player that he is. Big players need pressure on them. All the big players have pressure on them. Even Jackson, whenever big, has pressure on him. It's now Osimhen that will be saying, "Oh yeah, you got 2 assists. Oh, you're doing well." No, no, no. I think he needs to do more. Chinwoke says, "I saw Ego Shaka comes about Iwobi's game against Newcastle. I was very impressed with his display on the wings. Um, Let me see. Felix says, I would rather give Ilenikena his debut in order to cap him instead of calling Desas. Victor Balogun says, Desas can score 100 goals if he likes. I don't want to see him in the green and white again. The way you people just lose faith in players sometimes is always so funny to me. John Jones says, Yeraso and Mujahid Sadiq should be called up from Genk. Uh, I disagree with you. I'm sorry. I disagree with you. Let's not get carried away, please. Let me see. Abdul Jalil says, I want you guys to have a conversation with Judge Lenny Kenna. If he wants to have a conversation with us, I'm happy to discuss. No problem at all. Um, Data Prof says, true talk of Monaco, Nigerian lad to be given the sense of belonging. Felix says, we need to call Eleni Kenna. I'd rather call him as the third striker. Chinwoke says, LOL, how I wished we had so many midfielders to discuss like this. Okay. A lot of people are saying, Adibola says, I want Nigerian Football Federation to try and call George immediately before France call him up. Um, Lots of people that I agree with Eleni Kena's potential call up. I just want them to capture him. Let's just know that is done. Uh, Olu says IoT is not impressed one bit with Osimhen. I agree with you though. XXX says I agree with you, but don't forget Mbappe struggled at first before getting his first goal. Let's give Osimhen till next month. I mean, again, when Mbappe was not scoring for his first few, in fact, let's not get it twisted. Mbappe scored on his Madrid debut in the Super Cup, but then in La Liga, he didn't get goals in his first, I think, first two matches before they just dash him penalty to score. But let's not forget when he didn't score in those La Liga matches, did people not criticize him? Did people not laugh at him? So it's just the way it goes as a big player. If you're a big player, you have big expectations. People are always going to expect the best from you. You know, and that's what I'm just saying. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I won't say I'm not impressed with Osimhen. I think he's doing okay. But if you are supposed to be a superstar as a striker in Turkey, where your own market value alone is like the market value of 13 clubs in the league, I'm now supposed to be excited by two assists though because you passed ball with your chest. Oh yeah, kudos to you. Like it's like it was nice to watch and it was nice to see, but Osimhen is not. I'm not going to be shouting because Osimhen passed the ball with his chest. And that just reminds me, I think again, I don't like to talk about people like this too much, but the Nigerian media, man, Nigerian football media, I don't know. It just I mean the media myself, so I'm not talking. I'm part of the people that I'm talking about, but majority of people in the media, the way they, for lack of a better word, the way they kiss ass is very, very crazy to me. It's very crazy to me. Like, somebody gave you transfer news. He made you the number one reliable source on his transfer. I understand. You want to appreciate him for that. Because it's not something that he had to do. It was a privilege that he gave to you. But you don't now need to turn your page into a page to just glaze him and to just be hyping him every day. I don't know, like maybe I'm just the one that sees this thing differently. But before I can turn my page into that kind of page for a player, the player probably has to be paying me like $1 million a year. Because there are players that pay Eagle Striker for one thing or the other. But how much are you paying me? Okay, you're paying me maybe $500 a month. Is that what will now make me come and be every day? Oh, you did this. The day you miss chance, I'll make excuse for you. The day you do this, like I saw this guy's post. Well, not even just a post, multiple posts. We has essentially turned this page to an Osimhen fan page. But then I also saw his post where he was talking about Osimhen. What I love about him is that if he's not scoring goals, he's impacting the team. He's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing that. And I'm just like, bro, the best player in Africa does not need people to start hyping him up because of the very, very basic things that he's doing. Let him score his goals. The praise will come. The recognition that he got will come when he keeps doing well. But for you to turn your page into his fan page because he gave you transfer scoop, and then every small thing that he does, you just hype him. In fact, sometimes you're even posting tweets in Turkish so that the Galatasaray fans can respond. I just find it very, very funny. And he just questions like, are there not professional ethics when it comes to journalism? Like I get you're on radio, you're not a print journalist, you're not a this thing, but I don't know professional ethics. You cannot just be a fanboy of a player now and then you're supposed to be a professional. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. And a lot of people are like that. And we've spoken about the issues that we have in Nigerian football media before, but this one every single day, and I don't follow him, but you know the way the algorithm works because I almost all the content I consume on Twitter is about Nigerian football. So they keep on pushing the content to me. I'll be seeing it on my for you. And I'm just like, bro, I'm sure even Osimhen does not want you to just be hyping him for every tiny thing that he does. Because it's even things like that that make people start to root against somebody. Oh, hi, he passed the ball. Wow, what a pass. Oh, he's the best player. Even if he cannot score, he can pass. Like, we don't need all that. We love Osimhen, man. We love Osimhen. We love Osimhen so much. But man, this guy needs to chill, bro. Somebody's asking who is that. I'm talking about Buchi Laba. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody said justice for Ayo. We need to go on protest on Osimhen's page to unblock Ayo so that he will be soft on Osimhen. Yeah, it's not. I'm not being. I don't think I'm being tough on him, and it doesn't have anything to do with block or no block or like Osimhen is not doing anything for me. Even if he should unblock me, what does that do for? Like, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not trying to be harsh on him. I'm just saying we need to not just unnecessarily hype superstar players and just be praising them for any tiny thing. Let them do what is worthy of praise, and we'll talk about them. The play. I have players that are my friends that I talk to about things that are not about football. We just talk about life, about business, about family. I have players that are my friends like that. You guys that are watching me would have no idea who the players that are my friends are because I don't come on live every day to come and be praising them. It's only if I've said it before that, oh, this guy is my friend, or maybe you're really close to me, like you know some of the players that I'm close to. But like I don't understand if you are a professional journalist though, if you are a fan, fine, you are a fan, do whatever you want to do. But if you're a journalist, I just think that there should be some professional ethics, man. And I'll be saying the same thing if they were doing it for Boniface. I'll be saying the same thing if they were doing it for Chukwueze, if they were doing it for Oshwala, if they were doing it for anybody. I'll be saying the same thing. But yeah, that just came to mind now when I saw this comment. Let me not go on a rant.
Yeah.
Um, okay, but yeah, let's move on before somebody will say, "Oh, I'm hating on Osimhen," because Nigerian fans, if you don't lick people's boots all the time, oh, you are jealous, you are hating. It's so funny to me. Okay, we're over an hour and a half into this, so let's just take the last few topics and then we'll wrap up. And of course, we'll give you guys a chance to come and share your thoughts as well. Um, what's better between Ayate and Osimhen? There is no problem, my brother. There is no problem. I just have high expectations for top players. There is no problem at all. Okay, Smilai, I know that this is a topic that is fairly close to your heart. We have a lot of people that Olu of Nigeria Football Weekly likes to call them MPFL merchants. They always, oh, MPFL this, MPFL that, oh, local based players, home based this, home based that. But yes, for yet another season, I think it's now, is it 6 seasons in a row?
Yes.
There will be no Nigerian club taking part in the CAF Champions League. Rangers International got the furthest. Um, Unfortunately, they fell at the final hurdle. After winning their first leg 1-0, they lost the second leg 3-1 against Esperanza, Angolan side. So Smilai, take it away. What do you have to say about this?
Another year, another disappointment, And if you watch the team closely, because I saw the 4 games that Rangers played, in this year's CAF Champions League qualifying. And in all honesty, you'll be ashamed that this is a Nigerian champion. One, you will see a team that they lacks idea, a team that they don't even know what they are doing, a team that there's no clear objective, a team that lacks talent, a team that is not technical enough. A team with no direction. And it's a shame that we call them our champions. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know. Maybe they did not. Maybe the way they won the league was somehow. I don't know. But if it's the best team that we have to present from Nigeria, Rangers, Enugu Rangers, I think there's a big problem in our domestic football. You mentioned it earlier. It's now 5 years. It's six. It's 6 years because it's 2025 CAF Champions League. Do you know the last time a Nigerian player even played at the knockout stage of the CAF Champions League? 13 years ago. 13 years ago. The last player to score a goal in the Champions League for Nigeria was Sikiru Alimi 6 years ago. He's now in Remo, I think he's still in Remo Stars FC. To tell you how far we fell behind. And we still lie to ourselves that we have the talents in the league. When last did you see a player transfer from that league and go and have a good career abroad? I know that you want to talk about the player you're very close to.
It depends on where is abroad now.
Okay, talking about a top 5 European leagues, it's hard. How many products of the league do you have in our own? If that is in the Super Eagles now, how many products of the league do you have in Super Eagles now? People will talk about Unda and maybe probably in Wabani, it's goalkeeper.
Uncle K.
Uncle K, how many games did Uncle K play in Sunshine Stars before he left? How many games? We're talking about a proper league player. So it's a shame that we find ourselves in this situation. And secondly, you have to also blame the authorities too, because if you just make Ranger Stadium just go renovated and it cannot even host a Category C CAF game. I saw the way they laid that astroturf off. One place is higher than the other. And you want that type of stadium to pass CAF test. So, you already shoot yourself in the foot if you are playing your home game away from home. One, you don't have access to your fans. They have to travel long distance before they can actually want to watch you in Uyo. Do you know how many people can risk it to travel from Enugu to Uyo? Like they can get kidnapped on the way. So things like that, you have to make sure you get it spot on. For me, when I saw those games, I just realized that, come on, we're not ready yet. The team, in fact, anybody that comes in to tell me that we should invite any MPFA player, in fact, I won't say what I'm going to tell that person. Because I saw the two teams. Enyimba played, in the Confed Cup and also the Rangers Enugu. I wasn't impressed with any of those two teams, in my opinion. And I see a lot of people we know here. We used to have it very good before. Enyimba once topped a CAF Champions League group with 10 points. Sunshine Stars won't play. They won't play a semi-final of CAF Champions League in Abeokuta against Al Ahly. We had Atlant and Canopilas play together in the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League 2009 to tell you how far we've come. And people are saying that they should build Nigerian with local league players. In my own opinion, we are really, really actually far behind, and I think things need to change.
All right, well said, well said. I'm not even going to add anything because people will start saying, "Oh, I don't post about the Nigerian league, but I don't talk about them." So I wish them all the best. Amo Biezaku is a friend of the house, the CEO of Rangers International. I wish they had done better, but unfortunately, even the champions of our league are still not good enough to compete on the continent.
No, not good enough.
Okay. Let me move on quickly. Somebody said, "My own is why is it that when we hype Osimhen, it's seen as overhype, and not just supporting our most valuable player, but when other fans do it to their European players, we don't say they're overhyped." Victor, I think what you did not understand, or maybe what you did not hear me say, is that if it is a fan, if it is fans, I couldn't care less who fans hype. Fans have favorites, fans hype who they want to hype. The person that I was talking about is a journalist, and that's why I was talking about it. I don't care who fans hype. You can talk from now till tomorrow. I really don't care. But for a journalist, again, if you're supposed to be a source of truth, then there needs to be balance in what you're saying. You need to stay relatively objective. You cannot just be fanboying over one player or the other, whether it is Osimhen or Chukwueze or Okoye or anybody. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, a fan, feel free to hype whatever you want to hype. Even me, I dey hype Osimhen too sometimes. So it's not about, but there has to be a balance. Limelight is IoT. Move on, brother. If Osimhen does well, we should applaud. If not, it's right for his criticize. Though I think we should give him time in this situation. Again, unfortunately, a lot of people see once it's not praise, people think that it is criticism. I'm not criticizing Ozime. What I'm just saying is he needs to score goals. It's not criticism. It's just the reality. Osimhen was signed by Galatasaray for goals. 2 games in a league like Turkey would have expected him to score more. I'm giving him time. I'm not saying it's bad. I said it here. I cannot come and doubt Osimhen's quality. I cannot come and doubt Osimhen's ability. But objectively speaking, from a player that likes Osimhen, that wants him to do well, that believes he's one of the best in the world, he has missed too many chances for my liking and he hasn't scored a goal. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And when Osimhen does well, when he scores that goal, I'm the same person that will post on my pages. I'm the same person that will share the video of the goal. I'm the same person that will come and talk positively about him. Again, it's all about balance. That's it. But yeah, let us move on to the next topic. Let us move on to the next topic. And to prove to you guys that if somebody does something wrong, I talk about it regardless of who you are. Um, I want to I want to talk about something that happened recently. One of our Super Eagles players, he made a post on social media this past week, and unfortunately for him, that post was met with a lot of, what I call it, negative feedback. The post did not go in the way that he expected it. And this is a player that I like. Again, this is a player that, in fact, I have his phone number. We chat every once in a while, talk about all sorts of things. I'm talking about Bruno Oyemaichi. So if you didn't see it, Bruno Oyemaichi, Super Eagles left back, he scored his first goal for Boa Vista this past week. And he made a statement, he made a post on Twitter. I'm going to put it on your screen. He said, scored my first goal of the season today. Make una help me tag Todd Bowley abeg. I want see something. This post, he probably made the post jokingly, saying, "Oh, let me too have banger tweets, let people laugh, let people see." And the level of kickback that he got, I'm sure he
Like
was not
Boniface.
exactly. I'm sure he was not expecting it. And I'll use this to say this is one of those um, teachable moments for Nigerian players, one of those learning moments for Nigerian players. Get somebody to manage your social media. Get somebody to be your brand manager. Get somebody to advise you on your public image, for better or for worse. You don't know the benefit of some of these things until you run into situations like this. Again, I'm not saying you cannot try to be funny, but you can easily just send it to somebody that, hey, bro, I was thinking of posting this. What do you think? The person tell you, oh no, this is how people might take it. Don't do it. Oh no, people might read it the wrong way. Don't do it. Or you might even already make the post, and within 1 minute, the person will just send you and say, bro, take this thing down, I beg, before people start seeing it too much that it's not funny. But when you don't have anybody that you can talk to like that, you don't have anybody that works for you on that level, you make a post like this, it stays up for a day, and then people start insulting you, cursing you, blah blah blah, and then you now start to realize, oh, more, I don't mess up here. Again, Everybody should find what makes them unique. I talk so much about branding. I'm going to bring back a series on our social media page talking more about this branding thing for athletes. Find what makes you unique. I promise you, I don't care how many funny tweets Bruno Oyemechi puts out on social media. He will never be seen as the funny guy. I love Bruno. Bruno is my guy. But the funny guy is Victor Boniface. Don't try to do what Victor Boniface is doing. It won't work for you. Find what makes you unique. Even recently, I saw Victor Olatunji trying to do the same thing, trying to make jokes. It will not work for you. People might laugh once or laugh twice, but they will get over it. The funny guy is Victor Boniface. Victor Osimhen was the guy that used to post memes on every of his posts. All of a sudden, every Nigerian player started following that blueprint. When they post on Instagram, you see on the fifth slide, they will post one meme or they will post one funny video. Stop being copycats, my brothers and sisters. Find what makes you unique. Build your own brand. For example, Rashida Ajibade. Ajibade is the girl with the blue hair. She is Mommy Gio. Is she the only player that loves God? No. Is she the only player that dyes their hair? No. But if another player comes and says, "Oh, let me start doing my Bible reading series," people will look at you like, "Bro, this is Rashida's thing." If another player comes and starts saying, "Oh, I'm the girl with the braids," people will look at you like, "Brother, sister, who are you? This is Rashida's thing." Find what makes you unique. If you cannot find it yourself, again, that's why you hire people like Eagle Tracker. You hire people like IoT that help you build your brand, help you to paint your public image, help you to find what works, help you to reach the right people. Again, players don't understand the importance of these things until it is too late. When I saw the tweet, I know the boy just wanted to be funny. He said, "Oh, let me throw Chelsea a little bit. Let me get some kikis and some laughs." And he got some laughs. But the thing was, he upset two sets of people. He upset Chelsea fans and then he upset Boavista fans. So he upset Chelsea fans because Chelsea fans now start to look say, "Who are you to be trolling us? Like, bro, you say where you don't reach. You are not Mbappe and all this thing. Where have you reached?" For better or for worse, that's how fans feel very protective of their clubs. I know Nigerian fans that even if it's Osimhen tomorrow, if he's playing against Arsenal, they will insult Osimhen, they will say all sorts of things because Arsenal to them is the number one, or Man U or Chelsea or Real Madrid or whatever the case may be. And he upset a lot of Chelsea fans. They're like, "Bro, who are you? Why are you trying to troll us?" Blah, 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 things like that. And then he upsets Boavista fans because, bro, we're the ones that pay your salary. Why are you trying to twerk for somebody else while we are paying your salary? It'd be like say you get babe. May your babe go dey post say, help me tag Chris Brown or help me tag let me use a Nigerian celebrity. Help me tag Timini, oh, make Timini see my fine picture. Or help me tag. It's like, yeah, I'm the one that is taking care of you. You are saying they should tag another man to come and look at your picture. Things like that. And I think he just did not read the room. And he also did not have anybody that could just call him up after 1 minute or even after 5 minutes or 10 minutes and say, bro, no, no, no. Take this thing down. Take it down. Take it down. It's not good enough. And then eventually, he took it down. And then he made a statement. Again, Bruno, not my guy. But this statement, when I saw it, I was just dying of laughter. I said, again, this is further reason why you need PR, why you need a brand manager, why you need somebody helping you with your social media and with your communication. Bruno said, "Hello, everyone. I have been having some difficulties logging into this account for the past 74 hours. I believe someone hacked my account and made the last post, and apologies to anyone that the last post may have caused in any way. Big respect to my club, Boavista." Bruno, we know that nobody hacked your account. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Nobody hacked your account. First of all, nobody is hacking into your account and is making one single post. If the person hacked your account and wants to tweet nonsense, they will tweet plenty nonsense. They're not going to hack your account and make one single post. So stop
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
Again, even the statement, not well structured, not well thought out. 74 hours is a very, I saw that, I was like, that's a very specific. I don't know if he wanted to say 24 hours because 74 hours is a very specific timeline, you know. But the thing just made me laugh. I'm like, bro, you could have just even, you have my number. You could have even just texted me like, IoT Alpha, or how can I just fix the thing quickly? I would have given you better advice than that. You
Mhm.
know, again, it was just bad damage control. Obviously, at the end of the day, people are forgiving him for the most part, everything. But it's things like this that should not happen. I remember when the Gift Urban one happened with, he doesn't want to go to Arsenal because Arsenal don't win, blah, blah. I know how his agents started scrambling left, right, center to try to fix the narrative. But it doesn't appear like Bruno even has somebody that's working hard like that for him.
Hmm.
So I'm sure he has learned his lesson. He will not try to do banger tweet again. He will just focus on playing his football. But again, Bruno, hit me up, bro. Let's talk. Let's work because you can still be a social media presence. You can still engage with your followers. You can still be interesting. You can even still be funny, but don't try to copy somebody else's templates. And just make sure you have somebody looking out for you. Because any of the players that I work with, any of the players that I work for, if they put out something like that, it won't take me 5 minutes to tell them, bro, no, 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 take this thing down. It's not good. If I even have access to their account, now me go even log into their account, go delete them by myself because it's not good. You need somebody to be watching out for you. And whatever money you don't want to pay, trust me, it's worth it. Because all the stress, all the negativity, all the negative attention that comes towards you from making a mistake like this is not good. That's what I have to say. Smooth, do you want to say anything about it?
For me, I just think that the the tweet wasn't the one that really caught my attention. It was the damage
The
control.
explanation.
He just rushed and do the explanation. But in my own opinion, I think Bruno, fantastic guy, but he just need to learn his lesson. You can't be a different player. You have to be Bruno. You have to be Bruno Yemeshi. People know you to be the gentle guy in that team. So and you have to respect your club. That's actually very important. You have to give your club respect. And if you want to disrespect a club, not Chelsea. Chelsea fans does not have anything to lose. They will just come after you. They are keyboard warriors. You are keyboard warriors. They will come after you. They don't win anything, so they will come after you. And when they will eat you up. If you slack Man City now, at least now they are on top of the league. There. But Chelsea fan, even the small pick will come after you because Chelsea fans don't joke with their club. I know that. So in fact, the worst person to argue with is a Chelsea fan. So that's why I don't even go close. So for me, I just think Bruno, fantastic guy. He's going to learn his lesson. But for me, that tweet where he used the spirit, where he goes use that way again, that one no go, no enter.
Yeah, because if you even look at the replies to the tweets, people are like, come on, bro, like, come on now, be serious here. We know that wasn't a mistake.
Mhm.
We know that nobody hacked your account. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know he has learned his lesson. Better safe than sorry. The
Mhm.
why I'm saying this, that hire somebody, because the natural reaction for a lot of these players when they make a mistake like this, their reaction is now they will go back into their shell. They will just say, let me not say anything again or make I not go make mistake. But that's not the solution. The solution is not for you to now not have a social media presence. The solution is for you to just use it better, use it smarter, use it wiser, not to just go into your shell and not post anything again. So I hope that in fact I hope that he reaches out. In fact, maybe I even text him and talk to him about it. But when I saw it, I was just laughing. I was laughing. And even people did not buy it because when he made that explanation, people were like, "Come on, bro! Like, come on." But you live and you learn, man. Nigerian players hire social media managers, man. Even the great Bonner boy. Sometimes when they tweet nonsense, a manager go just they delete them as in they tweet them. They just they delete them, just they delete them because they know okay, this boy don't smoke it, but just come they talk nonsense now. It's like we don't need all this negative attention. Just they delete them. And that's a musician where, to be fair, that there are not really that many consequences for what he says. Now imagine you a footballer, professional footballer, where your own consequences are much, your industry is much different. You're not allowed to just do anyhow. You have to be more careful. Hire social media managers, hire people to watch after you. If the only person that you have on your team is your agent, then you're not doing it right at all. I always tell players this: if the only person you have on your team is your agent, then you are not doing it right. And if the people you have, the remaining people that are not your agents, are your boys that just for your area, we just they squeeze money into their hand, you are not doing it well at all. You have to get learned people, knowledgeable people, people that know what they are doing, to be on your team, to look after you, to work for you, and that's how um the best players do it. That's how the best players do it. Neymar has, I know Neymar is a super, super big player, but Neymar has his marketing agency that has over 50 people, that 50 that are working just to build the Neymar brand and protect that brand. I know that's Neymar. I'm not saying hire 50 people, but hire one. Even if you are paying that person $500 a month, for how much you make is nothing. You can afford it. Just hire somebody. But yeah, let us move on. Somebody said damage control. Someone said the guy know well at all. Chukudi Igwe said the guy is doing damage control. Why are you making it worse? You cannot blame somebody that's talking about what you did. You have to blame yourself for doing it. Nobody is making it worse. Limelight said that was done out of sheer excitement. Yeah, unfortunately. And then Ola says make a fun account if you want to play around. Abi, if you want to play around, make burner accounts where people no go know say na you dey tweet am, and you can joke as much as you want to joke. Um, but yeah, okay, I think we have two more topics. We're already almost out of time. But okay, one more topic. So of course we had the what are they called? We had the qualifying matches, AFCON qualifying matches in September, where the Super Eagles played, two games against Benin Republic and against Rwanda. And then after that, FIFA released the latest men's world ranking. And it came with a level of significance. The Super Eagles remained 39th in the world, still the 39th ranked team in the world. But the significant part is that we dropped to number 6 in Africa. The Super Eagles are now ranked sixth in Africa behind Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, and Tunisia. Smidlai, can you tell us what are some of the potential consequences of being number 6 in Africa?
No, it's just that going to an AFCON draw, you might probably be placed in a group that with one of the big boys.
Because you will be second seed.
You be second seed. That is just one of the consequences. You want you up be second seed. So that could be that. You can even drop further. Imagine us losing to Libya. It can even go down. But my issue is that at the start of the year, Nigeria was like second in Africa. We third in Africa. So why can't we just drop like this? It was a free fall. I think we're doing so well. After the AFCON, we took us like second in Africa or third. I don't know why everything. I think we were third in Africa to Morocco and Senegal. Morocco, I think Morocco and Senegal was actually what in front of us. So this free fall is what I don't understand though. And that have been through bad results. Losing against Benin Republic, drawing against Africa at home, losing against Mali. These are the results. Drawing away against Rwanda. These are the results that that is not really actually what helping us because we fail to beat the team that we are better than. So if you keep on having this type of results, then it's gonna be a big problem. And secondly, too, if Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup and went to the playoff, you're going to have a tougher draw in in the playoffs too. So that's another big problem
Mhm.
because they will pick, when they pick the best 6 teams, second place teams, they have to do a draws, they play them against each other. So, imagine Nigeria maybe playing against Ghana again. So yeah, it's a tough day. So I just think that we need to win those 2 games against Libya. I just maybe we can just try and maintain these things or even climb slightly higher. That is it. It's
Mm.
really, really
And as like to your point, in February, even in the world, we were 28th in the world in February
yes.
when they did the ranking after the AFCON.
AFCON.
But since February, it has just been down. After 28th, we dropped to 30th, then we dropped all the way to 38th, and then we dropped to 39th, and then we're still on 39 now in the world. And it's not good, I know people will say, oh, but we didn't lose. But the reality of it is that when you're dropping points against teams that you're better than,
Mm-hmm.
when you're not winning teams that you're supposed to be beating, and then
Mm-hmm.
other teams behind you, remember, it's not only about your own results because it's
Mm-hmm.
a points based system. Other
Yeah.
teams behind you are winning their own games. Like Tunisia that just passed us, they are
Mm-hmm.
winning their own games. They are getting good results. It's going to keep taking them higher, and it's going
Mm-hmm.
to be bringing you further down the ranking just as a result of that. So, like you said, we need to win our 2 games against Libya. We need to be winning these games that we are supposed to win. And then, it's different if you lose against a Senegal or you lose against an Egypt or a
Teams above
Morocco.
you.
Teams exactly. But when teams that are like Rwanda are 131st in the world,
Uh-huh.
and you come and draw against them and you think it won't affect you, it will surely, you
Uh-huh.
know. So thankfully, because they've changed the way the World Cup draws are done. Because
Mm-hmm.
before it wasn't like this where it's one big table. It
Mm-hmm.
would have had more effects, but now it would only have an effect if we finish second and
Mm-hmm.
we have to go into the playoff round. But like
Yes.
you said, also, if we stay like this in 6 spots, by the AFCON, we'll probably be in pot 2 for the AFCON, which
Yes.
means that you will surely have one of the tougher teams,
Mm-hmm.
in your group from pot
Yes.
1.
Yes.
Could easily be Egypt or any of these other countries, Morocco, Senegal.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully, the Super Eagles can rise back up, in the rankings.
And the IoT and since the AFCON, we have never played against a team that they are ranked higher than us.
Yeah,
So and we are failing to beat them.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that's that. I don't know if anybody wants to share their thoughts today. If you want to, we'll just have quick time for you to call in because we've already run extremely long. But yeah, I've shared the link. If anybody wants to come and share their thoughts, you can just click the link and join us very quickly. But before we go, just whether or not calls coming, we'll see. Um, the Europa League kicks off tomorrow. Or well, if you're in Europe or in Nigeria, it's today now for you. But the Europa League kicks off Wednesday. In the Europa League this season, we have 15 Nigerian players who are going to be taking part. One player was added late, so it's now 15 players who are going to be taking part. That's, I think, is amazing. Lots of players to support. Pick your team, um, and then some of the games that you should watch out for this week. We have AZ Alkmaar against Elfsberg. Ibrahim Buhari and Victor Okeke will be in action. We have Ludogorets against Slavia Prague. Igor Bu is injured, so unfortunately he wouldn't be taking part. We have Galatasaray against PAOK. Osimhen back in action tomorrow. I'm expecting Osimhen to get a goal in that game. We have Midtjylland against Hoffenheim. Kevin Akpoguma will be in action. We have Nice against Real Sociedad. Orakpo Victor and Umar Sadiq will both potentially be in action in that game. We have Dynamo Kiev versus Lazio. Fisayo Dele Bashiru potentially in action. And then on Thursday, we have Malmo versus Rangers. Cyril Dessers and Leon Balogun for Rangers. We have Fenerbahce versus Union Saint-Gilloise. Bright Osai Samuel might make his return. We don't know yet. We have Ajax versus Besiktas. Chuba Akpom, of course, player for Ajax. We have Lyon versus Olympiacos, where Gift Urban, we know Gift Urban likes European football. So let's see if he can reproduce these things in the Europa League, this time one step up from the Conference League. And then finally, we have Star Bucharest versus FKRFS, where Victor Osuagu will potentially be in action for RFS. So those are the Europa League games for you to
And that
watch.
Victor.
Another Victor. But yes, okay. So we have 2 callers. We'll take you guys very quickly, and then we'll wrap up for this evening. First, we have humble Henry.
Oh,
Yes,
uh,
good.
Okay, good. Yes, you know, so far as good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Good morning, wherever you're watching.
it's good
Whenever I
morning.
will be in the office, I'll be very, very lonely. The
Yeah.
best thing I have to do is just to listen to the podcast, which is very, very good. It's very
Okay.
nice. I think I have so many things that I wrote down. Number one,
Okay.
Nigeria local league.
Hmm.
Yes. I want people to criticize me. I don't care. Our local coaches are village champion. They are not yet. Yeah, I will keep on saying it. They are village champion. It's like those that went to government school,
Mhm.
secondary school, government secondary school. From your just one to just three, you are first position, first position, first position. Then your parents now change schools for you, and you move to the private school. And you have becoming first position in your government school. You went to the private school and your position was 50, 60, 70th position. Yes, that is what is going on in our local league. Our local coaches, they are best in their local league. When they go outside, that is where you will know that they are nothing. Look at
Hmm.
Rangers. Yes, I expect Rangers to do some changes when you won the league. Bring players, invest, bring people that will help you to win the league. And you are bringing people that will smoke you, but they will do this and you want to go and win this thing. Hell no. It's not possible. It's not done that way. After the whole thing, they came and they did what? 1-0. And they were happy.
Hmm.
Angola said they were happy. They know what they will do when they will go there. That is right. No, Amobi, you have to do something about this. You have to do something about this, please. No, it's not a good sign at all. I know you tried to win the league, but internationally, that is where we have to put Nigeria to the map. That one aside. And also, what Smith said, I support him. Nobody in our local league have to near that Super Eagles. You don't need to be there. We don't. No, no, no. Hell no. Just go
What
where
about
you are.
Sadiq Bendi?
Is he crazy? You don't need to be there. And sometimes these people in charge of league, the clubs, you are the one to tell the government what we want. You want, not waiting for the government. If you try your best, the government is not responding. You tell the audience we have tried our best, and the government is not responding. But if you are keeping quiet, the government will do this. If you tell them, that is when they will do it. So that one apart. Then another one is our players' attitude. Somebody should go and tell Bruno. He's a good guy. Don't copy somebody. If Boniface is doing it, do not copy him. Boniface is unique in his own. He will do it and people will accommodate it. But when you do your own, they will bash you because that is not your lifestyle. Everybody have their own way of life. Don't go and copy Boniface. If you copy Boniface, Boniface will do it. Everybody will know that is his life. He's a funny person. That is the way of life. But if you go and do your own, they'll start bashing you. You will be disappointed. You even be ashamed to type again. And that is why if you go to any organization, they have secretaries. Even where I am, I have my own secretary. It's not anything that I will write. They will check on it. And that is what IoT was saying, which I saw so much like. They're supposed to have somebody that will help them before they will tweet. The person will go through it to tell them this is what you're supposed to do. This thing is good. This is not good. Now that people are bashing him, I wish him best of luck that he, before he would do something, he would think. Yes, I'm not trying to criticize him, but it's not only one. Others, let it be an avenue for others to learn. Then, concerning about our ranking, now, whom shall we blame? Before, I was blaming the players. Now, I went back to myself. I said, no, I'm not going to blame the players. I'm going to blame our administrators. We need coach. We need every department need to have their own coaching places to do. We have coaches, we have keeper trainers, everything. They have to bring people because Super Eagles, our first 11, they are in Europe. We have so many things there, and we don't have a coach. No, 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 no. It's embarrassing. We don't have a coach. Which coach are we talking about? You bring Ilechuku, you bring this one for Ramos, and you combine them together. You say, this is our coach. People that will not win CAF qualifying, you are bringing them to come and coach Boniface, to come and coach Osimhen, to come and coach Chukwueze. Hell no, no, no. Bring people that, these people are in another level. Don't bring somebody that is very low to their own level. Bring people they are in another level. Even when Osimhen will be saying, what is this one doing? What is he will not say it, he will just be watching them. This is not how it is being done. Or seeing Iguavon doing this, what is this? But they will respect them. But after the match, they will tell, man, these people doesn't know what they are doing. Or Allah, you come and tell him this. And we see his performance. Are you telling Iwobi, come and do this? Iwobi knows what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to bring somebody that will match to their level. And they are playing with it, trying to do try and lock, try and error. Let's do this, let's do this. If we do not go to this World Cup, I want everybody to go to Kusowo's DM so that he will not sleep in the night. He will not sleep in the night. Yeah, definitely. This is the highest of all competition. And you're telling me that Boniface will not be at the World Cup, Osimhen will not be at the World Cup, Lukman will not be at the World Cup. Hell no. This is the best moment they're supposed to be. I rest my case. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Humble.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Humble,
you, Humble.
before you go, let me just so there's one comment, and I don't want to address this comment too much because I'll just say this. So the person said, a team that has lost all their players last season, how will they cope? He said, Oga, close your mouth. The reason affecting domestic league is that at the end of the season, all the players want to travel out.
Okay.
And what I no, sorry, what I would just say back is, Yusuf, have you asked why do all the players want to travel out? Because that answers your question. In England, do all the English players want to travel out of the season? Let's even forget England. In Tunisia, do all the Tunisian players want to travel out after the season ends? Do all the Angolan players, Egyptian players, do they all want to travel out? Why is it only Nigeria that all our players want to travel out? When you answer that question, Esoft Studio. Sorry, this guy, you love this. I love you because you love a ghost tracker. You are always commenting, you are always arguing in our comments. So I love you. But I'm sending an open invite to you, Esoft Studio. One day, come on live, show your face, let's hear your voice, let's talk football. Because I don't have too much respect for people that know how to argue every single day in the comments, but they would never one day come and actually talk and let's hear that they are intellectual and they know what they're talking about. It's very, trust me, it's very easy to argue in comments, but to come in person and to have arguments, they will shut you down in 2 minutes.
Keep out warrior.
Okay,
So
let's talk about it. For them to go abroad, I don't have problem. Where are they going? Sudan. Where are they going? Tanzania. The people that
Far
are
right. So somebody went to Northern Cyprus.
Northern Cyprus.
Yes, if they are going to, okay, this person is going to Manchester City, I will not have problem. Everybody will be very happy. This person is going to Syria B, no problem. Even let's manage them. Okay, let them go to Syria. Let them go to what's it, La Liga. Maybe they are D or C. But look at where they are going. They want to travel abroad.
I
So
saw it
Cameroon is abroad.
from Kogi to Niger Republic.
So
Okay.
for me,
But yeah, I mean, the Esoft Studio, just one day, come on live, come and actually talk. You argue a lot in the comments. I love it. Don't stop. I like the engagement. But I encourage you one day, just come on live. Let's actually see your face. Let's hear your voice. Let's know that you know what you are talking about. Stop being a keypad warrior. But thank you, Humble Henry. I have to let you go so that we'll bring other people up. But
okay,
always nice to hear from you. If you go live later, I might even join your live. But yeah, thank you.
okay, no problem.
All right. Okay, so yes, that was humble Henry. TCO has been waiting, so let me just bring him up very, very quickly. Welcome.
He's our man.
Ah, is he not
Come
ready?
on. Yes,
Hello,
he's our
sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello. Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. The legendary Smith Lai and Ayoti.
yeah, we hear you, sir.
Thank you, thank you. We hear you.
Yes, sir. Once again, I enjoy you guys' program. Nigeria football. Super Eagles is my favorite team. So, I really enjoy you guys' channels. Like I said, it's
Thank
like
you.
gold, like I mentioned the other day. So, well done, you guys.
Thank
Just to lend my voice again. The previous caller, Humble Henry, right? Humble
Yes.
Henry,
Yeah.
he said a lot of these players in MPFL that they want to leave, you know, and the problem is that where are they leaving to? They're leaving to Sudan, so on and so forth. In the philosophical words of the great Igalo, this football is to eat,
And our
right?
legacy.
You cannot you cannot use trophy to buy groceries at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Like Igalo said, the country is hard, right? The country is hard. Just like you are doing whatever profession you are doing. I'm into finance, for example. They're into football. And what's the end goal? To feed and to
Mm.
Mhm.
make money and feed their family. So if they feel like, listen, that's where I'm going to be able to do that even better, they're going to go there. The country is hard, my brother. You know. I wanted to touch on that the issue with regards to branding, your public
Mhm.
image, PR, and Nigerian players, right? My dad used to tell me something when I was younger. When we used to watch football, because my dad was is a big football fan. If I mention his name, I reckon that you guys will know him. But he said, even if you are playing football, you must go to school.
Mhm.
He said, no matter what you do in life, whether you want to be a footballer, you want to be into anything, a musician, anything, you must go to school.
Mm.
And unfortunately, I know it might sound a little bit condescending, but that's not my intention. I think the lack of that or the inadequacy of that, I think that's what is glaring, in the actions of many of these players, to be fair. You know, there is something they call, there's just this inherent professional aura you should have as a footballer. The kind of outbursts that we see, for example, from Osimhen, and I'm going to mention his name, right? Because it's not only Bruno, him coming on Instagram Live and then having that kind of rants, right? I'm not taking sides here, whether him or Finidi who was wrong, I don't care, right? But for you doing that alone, right, as a professional footballer, that shows the level you are.
Mm.
Can you imagine that Mohamed Salah, right? Because he was also once a CAF player. Can you imagine him in any world, any dimension doing that? Can you imagine someone like who again was African Player of the Year, Sani?
Sadio
Sorry,
Mane.
Mane, Sadio Mane. Could you have imagined him in any universe doing that? So what he did was just showing that although physically he's at this level, half player of the year, top scorer, one Scudetto, although physically that's where he is, right? Mentally, he's still he's
And
still down there, unfortunately,
it's portable.
right?
No?
A lot of these
Still not
our
possible.
Nigerian players, exactly. A lot of these our Nigerian players, they seriously need what they call media training.
Mm-hmm.
They need media training, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
How to speak to the media. Just look at all these EPL matches, and then they interview, maybe they're interviewing Trent Alexander-Arnold, interviewing Sterling. Forget even Sterling and Trent Alexander-Arnold, a foreign player that has gone through media training. See the way they speak. See the way they address the game. See the way they carry themselves. They understand that, listen, I'm a footballer, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain way I need to carry myself. There's a certain aura I need to have. I need to, even though personally, behind the scenes, I might be a certain way, but in public, I can't, show my flaws like that. I should be like a professional, come do my work, and I'm all giggly and smiley.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember this guy, this Noni Madueke, Chelsea winger, when he had that issue that he posted on his Instagram, and he said,
Wolves
yeah,
is crap.
when because what happened is that he made the post, right, and then he quickly deleted it a bit later and said, oh my gosh, that was supposed to be on my burner account, that you lot are quick. Yeah, that shows he understands that things like this has to be said in his burner account. Does Boniface have burner account?
You might
Does
have.
Bruno? Okay, yeah, he might have, but the point I'm making is that he's saying things on his main account that you would expect a burner account to say, right? Osimhen, all these players, so they really need to imbibe this, and I think that it's also something that I don't know, maybe it's the NFF, I don't know what body is it that's going to have to work on this, and a lot of you made a good point about musicians. They can get away with a lot of these things better. A lot of these are Nigerian players, right? The way they reason, their headspace, they are also in the same category as musicians. Them having this popularity, this fame, even if you look at their lifestyle, they have mentally placed themselves in that position. So they feel like sometimes they forget themselves, and they post these kinds of things. And that's the way I feel about the whole situation. You mentioned that Bruno Emechi, he was thinking, okay, maybe he can also position himself as like the Boniface. To be honest, and I really believe that you are giving him too much credit. I don't think he was that strategic in his thinking when he made that post. I don't think he thought that far. I think he just made, an instinctive post. Make it that Emi what is say something about Todd Bowley? Emi tag
Yeah.
Todd Bowley. Let's see what he will see. What kind of
So you want to
unprofessional
take
tweet is
something.
that? What kind of statement is that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I saw it, I was just disgusted, honestly. And then, of course, when I now saw the damage control, like, bro. I mean, that was even a lot more horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, so yeah, so these are my thoughts on these issues, and of course, one thing that is most pressing for me now is Nigeria's manager. I mean, what is happening? Are we just taking this World Cup qualification for granted?
No, don't
I
worry.
think we're taking it for granted.
Everyone is going to be there. That one, there's nothing to discuss again.
I think we're just taking it for granted. And I also think that Nigerians, I like having difficult conversations, right?
Mm.
I like having difficult conversations. The first part I want to mention is that Nigeria, we are taking things for granted too much.
Yeah.
We as Nigeria, we want to go and play a game against, maybe we're playing a game against Kenya, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Automatically, Nigerians, they start thinking that we don't win now. And we have won now. We're going to beat them this. We're going to give them this. Automatically, subconsciously, it's almost like we think we are still in 1994 or 1996 or
6.
97. That's how Nigerians. Listen, we're not in that time anymore. We're not there. We're not there anymore. The playing field has evened a lot more than it was back then. We're not that team anymore. Now they can beat us. Right now, anybody can beat us. We are not that team anymore. That's number one. I remember when we were playing against Ghana, when we were supposed to play against Ghana in Abuja for the World Cup qualifier. I remember there was a space, and IoT was on that space. And I remember IoT's prediction. Well, was it IoT? I'm not sure if it was IoT, but IoT said if Nigeria play well, if Ghana play well, Nigeria is going to beat Ghana 2-0. IoT, am I wrong? If I'm wrong, correct me.
I don't remember, but I could have said it.
Okay,
I'm not going to
but
say I
I
didn't.
read that you say if Nigeria play well, if Ghana play well, Nigeria is going to beat Ghana 2-0. And I was just watching that. Okay, let's see.
But Nigeria did not. Nigeria
So
did not play well now.
No,
the
those of
Ghana play
you,
well.
some of you that saw my prediction, don't call me Dumo. I said 1-1 in Abuja. And yeah, I said the game 1-1 in Abuja.
And we go knocked out. So yeah, so that's the first point. The second point, right, and this is where I want to end it. Really, and I know it's an uncomfortable topic, especially when I'm talking about it around Nigerians. Really, really, how good are these our players that we had?
Hmm.
How good are they really? We have a bunch of players in the EPL, for example. Ola, Awoni, a bunch of them. If you have to do first 11 EPL, would they make the subs? Will any Nigerian be in the subs? Will any Nigerian be in the subs? If we do the same thing in the Italian league, will any Nigerian be in the subs?
Ah,
And
No,
look man,
I
Look
mean,
man,
I mean,
look man,
sorry.
look
look
man.
man.
Oh no, Lookman, sorry, Lookman, right?
Yeah.
Lookman, Atalanta. But really, how good are these guys? I mean, to be honest, how good are these guys? I mean, Victor Osimhen, right? I mean, listen, I love him. CAF Player of the Year. I hail him, a lot and all of that. But really, if I'm going to be really strict about it, honestly, and this is one of the reasons why I was scared for him to go to Chelsea. Listen, he would have scored, but listen, my friend was telling me the other day when Jackson scored 2 goals against Aston Villa. He said, Osimhen will easily score these. But did you see what Jackson did before he goes to the point he scored? The kind of striker that Osimhen is he the kind of player that will play that kind of game? So, I mean, honestly, I really think that, we really need to be more humble, and we need to understand that, listen, we're not in 1994 or 1996. Things have changed. And yeah, I mean, that's what I feel about the situations on ground. Thank you guys again. You guys
Thank you.
are doing a great job.
Before you go, I wanted to just say something.
Yeah,
See about what you were saying about the branding, education, mentality, all those things. What I would say is that based on the way Nigerian football is, we know this that for better or for worse, 90% of the people that become professional footballers out of Nigeria come from relatively poor homes. It's just a reality. So
yeah,
most of
yeah,
them did not have the opportunity or ability to go to school. But I'm not making excuses for them because education, knowledge is not only gained in the classroom through formal means. You can, now that you are making thousands or hundreds of thousands, nothing stops you from taking online courses. Nothing stops you from hiring a tutor for certain things. Players like Ajibade has gotten 2 diplomas while she's playing football. Players like Ekong have diplomas. Balogun has diplomas. You can play
Awoni.
football, Awoni. You can play football and still educate
and improve yourself.
yourself on different things. If you want to go into business, you have to have knowledge about business. You cannot just say, "Oh, I have money, so I'm going to do business." You will lose your money, or they will scam you. Things like that, or you will make bad investments. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to gain that knowledge somehow. Like for example, I always talk. Now I do branding for several players. I've worked with different players. I've worked with different clubs, different things like that. And I did not go to school to study sports marketing. I did not go to school to study it. I studied computer science. That's what I have my degree in. But I went and I had to take courses to learn these things, to understand these things better, to get better. Even this media that I do now, I had zero background in media. I had never hosted a show before. I had never done anything. If you go back and watch my interviews in 2019 when I first started a Goose Tracker versus watch my interviews today, you would see the growth. Because when I first started, I did not know what I was doing. I was just a guy
Mm,
that opened Instagram one day and I started asking players, "Oh, do you want to talk to me?" And some people said, "Yes, I'll talk to you." And I was like, "Wow." I remember then people will message me like, bro, how did you manage to get Osimhen? How did you manage to get Enyama? And I say, Omo, I just send them DM, they say, okay. And people were surprised that it was that simple. But when I watch it back sometimes, I'm like, oh, like what kind of stupid question is this? Or what's this thing?
mhm.
But that's why you have to constantly work on yourself and improve to get better. So I don't give players a pass. I understand maybe you did not grow up with privilege. So you did not go to school, or maybe after secondary school you had to stop. But you can still educate yourself better. Media training now, for example, nobody, maybe if you are lucky enough, you might be in a club that the club will say, okay, let's do media training exercise, and you'll bring somebody. But more often than not, you are the one that has to get yourself media trained. Either your
Yeah,
agent or your
yeah.
manager, somebody would bring. I'll give you an example of a player that I work with, Christy Uchebe. When I first started working with Christy, if you put camera in front of Crystal and give her a microphone, she will just keep quiet for the whole day because she did not know how to speak. Not like
Mm.
she could not talk, but she did not know how to properly communicate what's in her head, things like that.
Articulate
I know
herself.
how
Yeah.
many, I know how many mock interviews we did, how many different practices we did. how to answer certain questions, how to evade certain questions, just to be able to get better. And now, if you sit down with her for a 2 hour interview, she will talk and she will not jam talk. She will not go and say what she's not supposed to say, and she will convey her message properly. And even till today, she's not the only one. Other players that I've worked with, they will still send message like, IoT Alpha, I won't post this thing. Oh, help me read it through. If there's any grammatical error, help me fix it. Help me do this. Help me do that. Just make sure it looks good enough. And these are the things that players need to do. I know I'm selling my market a little bit because it's what I do. But at the same time, even if you don't want to work with me, I always say, even if you don't want to work with me, work with somebody, because you cannot just live ignoring these things. And I always say, with Nigerian players especially, it's the reason why a lot of our players are not global superstars. But then when it comes to something like this, you don't realize what you've lost because you never had it.
Mm.
You don't realize what you've lost because you never had it. But then when you look at other African, let's say like a Mohamed Salah, yes, I know how great he was, but look at the level of brand that he has.
Mhm.
If you don't fix up a lot of things in your own life, like you mentioned with Osimhen, that kind of rant, things like that, your
Mm.
brand will never get to that level if you are doing things like that. It's not a curse, it's not bad belly, it's just reality. You think, let's just say, for example, Louis Vuitton. You think Louis Vuitton wants that one day the ambassador will just come live, come they bash somebody?
Ele,
Mm. No.
ele,
It's just the reality.
ele.
They want players that are out of controversy, just doing the right things, speaking properly, right public perception, right image. And this is what a lot of Nigerian players don't understand. It's not everything that is just about, oh, make I just buy a car, make I just this thing. You have to invest in yourself. You have to work on yourself. You have to invest in your brand. Because at the end of the day, when you're 35, God help you. If you're 40, you retire. You have till, if God has ordained that you will die at 95, you have 55 more years that you have to live a life and you have to make money and you have to
Yeah,
keep doing yourself. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, I'll keep on saying it. I said I'm going to start a new series on English Tracker to educate more about this brand. When I first started, I used to talk about it so much, but I've kind of slowed down a little bit. I'll get into it again because Nigerian players cannot keep doing things like this. I want our players to be active on social media, but they need to know how to use social media properly. That's the important
yeah,
part. But yeah,
yeah,
thank you very much, bro. Nice to hear
yeah.
from you. I
Cheers, guys.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Felix, I'll give you 3 minutes. Sorry, just because we're out of time. I know
All right.
Smidlai needs to go as well.
Yeah.
So Felix, just very quickly, please, your thoughts.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good evening. Good anything, anywhere you are. Let me start from, since I have 3 minutes, let me start from where Umbury stopped. Let me talk about the local league. I think it's very unfortunate how many Nigerians celebrate mediocrity. I've always made a point that I want the local league players, I want them to excel. I want the Nigerian Professional Football League, I want it to go higher. But at trying to support my own, I will never support mediocrity. I will never say because this person is playing in the LPFL, then he has to be in the Super Eagles by force. We can't support what is not it. So when I saw somebody making comment in the comment section that is telling you to shut up, I was just wondering that is this person sensible at all? What are you trying to say? If Sadiq Bendy is the best right back in your league, it says a lot about that kind of league. For the past 6 years, none of these teams has been in the CAF Champions League, and we are trying to make a case for them. These coaches have failed to qualify this team to the CAF Champions League, and we are still making a case for them. It just does not make sense. People say yes, these players move abroad because they want to survive. Yeah, if you want to, it's good to survive. To be honest, I buy that idea. So everybody is trying to survive. If you want to survive, you choose one. Whether you want to, maybe either you want to earn glory or you want to earn survivor. If you know you want to survive, you have no business with the Super Eagle. Don't tell us to support you because we are a local player. That we have no business with that. And coming to our players in Europe, I think they are all doing well. I think Nigeria should give that George Ilekana, we should give him a chance. This is not just calling him because he's good. We just need to cap him, give him his debut. Then maybe the next game we don't call him, but at least let us cap him. And to the Super Eagles, coaching situation, it is very alarming. It is very disgraceful. It is very insulting that till this time we don't have a coach. AY, what is going on? Bruno Labadia posted Nigeria. He posted, see, I sent that screenshot to Smith, like not the post he made that everybody saw, on his Instagram story. Instagram story. Oh, this is not just a post. He still posted Nigeria. And now NFF is denying. What is really going on? It
You
is
know,
very
but
sad.
the other posted is Nabaga Ligi.
Because that account now it seems like a very fraudulent account.
Yeah, yeah,
Why can't have thousands of followers? It
Yes,
has
because the NFF, they when they made that initial announcement, they had tagged the account, they followed the account, so everybody followed that account, believing that it must be his account. But the way the person, when the person made that initial post, I also thought, okay, maybe something is coming back. But when I kept seeing the follow up posts,
mm-hmm.
it became quite obvious that somebody was just trying to be silly.
Yeah,
so I think it's
The
very
person
unfortunate.
was even reposting articles from when they had initially made the announcement.
yeah,
The person was just looking for attention. So I
mm,
realized, okay, somebody is playing with us here.
yeah,
I think it's very unfortunate because every day we are hearing rumors of yesterday now, for
yeah.
instance, we heard of Patrick Vieira. We don't know what is really going on, but it's just so unfortunate. And for Bruno Imachi, that was just so unnecessary. That post was so unnecessary. The damage control even made it worse. So I think, like what you said, they need to increase their PR stuff. They need to learn a lot of things, how to talk in the media, how to post things on social media. They need to learn those things a lot. Uh, so in total, I would just say the men's move was a very bad move to Galatasaray. I just didn't expect. I envisioned something more greater for her. She's a very good potential, a good player. Why she would move to Galatasaray, I don't understand. And for Victor Osimhen matter, I think the goals will still come. I'm to be honest, I don't know the people who are blaming you. I always tell people I will never like it to the level of hypocrisy. When it is time to say the truth, let us say the truth. For that number of game, at least I expected him to have scored one. Not that I didn't have the chance to score goal, he missed it. So people should stop saying all this blah 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 nonsense. He missed those chances. So I believe he's going to score. The goals are definitely going to come. He's going to start scoring because he needs to start scoring because January is not far and clubs are watching him. They are watching how he's performing in Galatasaray. So he needs to start performing in time. He needs to start performing in time. And Nigeria, we need to, I don't know, like we have players in Europe, even though we've not capped them. I don't know what the NFF are really doing. Some players are, players like Chukwuemeka, who's a midfielder, good player. We are short of such players in the midfield. Why can't you just get players like that? I don't think we are really built for excellence in Nigeria. Just mediocrity, mediocrity, mediocrity. I don't know how people rate success in Nigeria because I don't all this thing that is going on. I don't understand. I don't
Mm.
understand because we have players who could fill the void. When I see people calling for players like Iraso, Iraso is not a Super Eagles player right now. All those players people are just mentioned, they are not Super Eagles players right now. You just need to call the right players, and it seems the World Cup is in jeopardy right now. It's in big jeopardy because
No,
if
World Cup. World Cup is not. We're not talking about World Cup until March when the qualifiers resume. For now, not even Afcon. Maybe just qualify for Afcon first.
see
But Philip,
AY,
I have to cut you off just because of time. We're out of
okay,
time. I'm sorry,
okay,
but thanks for joining. Thanks for making your points.
yeah.
We're already 2 hours and 37 minutes into this. But yes, it was nice to hear from you. Um, I don't know if I'll ever be on TV because if I have a program on TV and they say, "Oh, Ayo, your program is 1 hour," I don't know if 1 hour I go fit do with my program. But yes, I want to just thank everybody for engaging with us. This is your final reminder to like the video wherever you are tuning in from. If you are watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you are, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Eagle Striker NG. You can also just search for Eagle Striker on YouTube, and I'm 100% sure you will find our content. Most of the content goes on YouTube. most of the live streams are exclusive to YouTube. So please, we don't want you to miss out on any future stream. 146 people on X/Twitter. Thank you very much, guys. But please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And of course, more interviews to come, more engaging content to come. We'll preview the games in October when it gets closer to that time. And of course, just to round off, I want to say congratulations to the three Nigerian players who were on target today. Stephen Alfred scored a goal for Dynamo Minsk in their 2-0 victory. That was in Belarus. Chidera Ejuke scored his first goal for Sevilla. A good finish, first goal for Sevilla in the Spanish La Liga, the winner for them in their 2-1 victory over Real Valladolid. And then, of course, Ademola Lookman came off the bench to score a penalty for Atalanta in their 2-3 Italian Serie A defeat against Como. I'm mad at Atalanta because that their defeat cost me some money, but I won't get into that. That's the only game in my cut one that just caught my sleep. I don't understand how Atalanta. I didn't even say Atalanta will win. I put double chance, Atalanta or draw. They went to go and lose to Como after they were winning 1-0. I could not believe it. But we'll discuss that on another day. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. It's been a pleasure engaging with you. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next one. As always, my name is Ayoti, my co